No place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 welcomes you to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Now, here are your hosts, Peter and CJ.
Yeah! What's up? CJ's very focused today, and that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't know you were talking to me. I thought you were talking to somebody else.
No, the focus is there. It's always been there. It'll always be there. What's up, everybody? Welcome in to Sports 56 Mornings with yours truly. My name is Peter Edmiston. That's me. That's why they call me Peter. His name is CJ Hurt, and that's why they call him CJ.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
Why we said, why not just call this show Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ? I mean, that just makes sense, right? Don't you think?
I think so.
Okay.
I like it.
Let's go with that.
It'd be weird if it was Sports 56 Mornings with Billy and Bob, because there would be no Billy Bob here. I don't think. Anybody's middle name William or Robert? Zach, what's your Jebediah is your middle name?
I believe that's right. Zachary Zebediah Boyd.
It's Jebediah now.
Jebediah or Zebediah?
Both. Oh, Jebediah, Zebediah.
Both.
Both.
Oh.
Zachariah, Jebediah, and the other Diah that I can't remember.
There's plenty
right
of
now.
Diahs. There's Zephaniah. There's plenty of Diahs in the house for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Back in those days, that was a constant thing. And of course, we've talked about him, so let's bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. The world's of all the producers of talk shows in the entire world, he is one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, the Deacon of the Dollar. Easily, and I've said this many times, CJ, and people, I want people to understand I'm serious when I say it. Of all of the producers in this city, Zach is easily amongst the top 4 or 5 that are in their sort of mid-20s. Like, I'd say easily in that. He's easily, like, for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
I think he might be the best producer in the city wearing a Grizz hat today.
Well, I mean, that remains to be seen. I don't know what the rest of the producers are going to wear. I don't think they've picked out their wardrobes yet, so I can't say that with any certainty.
I say it with certainty. I back it. I stand behind
that. It
just
reminds me of do you remember when Will Ferrell was I think Will Ferrell was like hosting the ESPYs back in like the late 90s. He's like, I think Tiger Woods is easily amongst the 4 or 5 best black golfers in the world. Yeah, I think so. True. I think that's one way to say it.
Yeah, very
For
much
sure.
so. He's
Ladies and gentlemen,
that. It's a true statement.
He is none other than the Deacon himself. He is the meatless Mamba. He's the adjunct professor. He is the substitute teacher. He don't eat no meat, and he can't be beat.
He's a deacon, so ain't gonna be no freaking.
His jumper is wet, so don't you fret.
Your boy's gonna hog the ball. Not gonna pass any of y'all.
Taking it to the hole, not eating any food that's soul.
He's a vegetarian.
Oh, okay. Where are you going with this one? All right.
And a fine grammarian.
Okay. You didn't quite stick the landing, but that's close.
Okay.
You kind of
right.
Wobbled a little bit. I think that'll count. That's gonna be good enough.
Oh, I messed
what?
up. I should have used aquarian because he's gonna have that aquatic sea monster as a pet.
The Leviathan, ladies and gentlemen.
That's his name.
The Leviathan. He is Zachary Boyd. What's up?
Yo, what's going on, y'all?
How are you, Zach?
I'm good. Good. I had an eventful day yesterday.
How? We're in quarantine.
So
Yeah, do tell.
So my cousins they came over to my house to kind of work on to do work because they want to get out of the house. So they come over to our house to do work or whatever. And so I came downstairs, kind of helped them get set up or whatever. And then I went into the dining room to help cut my mom's cause she's sewing masks.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen. That's a nice thing to do.
Yeah, so she has like this big setup where she has a sewing machine and then she has her different fabrics that she's using. And so I decided, let me help my mom cut out some of these mask templates for her so that she could go ahead and just stitch them.
Right.
Next thing you know, I get a phone call. Matter of fact, it was a FaceTime call from my 2-year-old cousin.
Okay.
She FaceTimed my cousin,
We can 3-way FaceTime people?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
We're doing it right now.
Is this FaceTime?
Zoom. It's the same.
Okay.
It's sort of the same thing.
I didn't listen.
I mean, it's
I don't know what's
in-
going on in these streets.
So
It's video conferencing.
so
Call it what you want.
so
Say a name, whatever.
so my 2-year-old cousin, she FaceTimed my other cousin that's in the other room, and so that cousin FaceTimed me.
Okay.
And she
What?
FaceTimed my brother, and so now it's just this big party of us with a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they're just trying to talk to us or whatever. And so now the 2-year-old at first she didn't know my name.
Okay.
She didn't know my name, but now she knows my name, and so now she can't stop saying my name wherever I
Similac?
go. No,
Deacon?
Zachary.
Oh, okay.
She like, Zachary, and I'm like, yes. What do you want? Yes, can I help you?
Okay.
And then at this point, she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? What are you doing? And then she like took a deep breath, says, Zachary, you a B. And I was like, whoa.
Wait. She
Wait,
called
she
you
said the actual
B-word?
word?
Yes.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
My mom
I like
was-
this 2-year-old. Turn up.
My mom was in the room with me when she said it, and she jumped up. She was like, like, Marley.
Got to do it.
I was like, come on, man.
So what happened?
Nothing.
You gonna let her say that to you? You gonna let her disrespect you like that?
What can I say?
Zach, you got to fight. You got to
You gotta
fight the
guess that.
2-year-old
Let's fight
girl.
for it. I don't care if
You got to slap the hell out of Zach.
where I come from, bullies get bullied. You know? She gonna start bullying you like that.
Even
you
at
gotta,
2, you got to go get her.
What can I say? There's nothing there's nothing for me to do.
you
but
gotta
to
know.
sit
You gotta say, look, you the B.
No, who
I
you think
can't.
I am? You
Yeah.
got me bleeped up. And
Yeah.
this mother, run up next time I see you. We find out who the real one is.
Yeah,
No.
who's real? Yeah, let's step outside, and then she can like crawl outside or whatever. Whatever she got to do.
Kicking
Man.
her bow-legged knees.
You can't. I don't care what age. You cannot let anyone say that to you, and let them get away with it. You can't. Now she knows. Now she knows she can get away with it.
Oh no, she don't.
That's gonna be your
Because when I first joined the FaceTime, she screamed and ran away. So like,
Yeah,
And then she...
you have that reaction. A lot of people.
yeah, it's cool. Like I'm cool in isolation. So
Little kids cursing is the funniest thing to me.
It's not when they're your little kids. it's not
Well,
as fun.
I don't have... True. I don't have any kids. So other people's children cursing is funny. Did I tell you about watching Christmas Vacation and my niece at 3 dropping the F word? Oh, it's great. We do a pajama jam every year after Thanksgiving where everybody comes over dressed in pajamas. We make pizza and we do Christmas lists for Santa Claus.
That's nice.
Yeah, and so it's one of those interactions that we get to have with the extended family members, and it is nice. We put in Christmas movies and we watch them while we do the list.
Sure.
And so I
You watch
put
Home
in
Alone when we put the tree up. It's,
Yes.
It's a good
similar.
part of
A
the fun.
Diva's Christmas Carol, Frozen are always big hits, and I put in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation just to see if the kids would like it because there's a lot of shenanigans going on. They didn't, but
They didn't like it.
no, they couldn't stand it.
that's
They
a shame.
complained the whole time. One of them, the 3-year-old, is sitting down in the floor doing her Christmas list and stands up and walks over to her dad like, "Dad, look what I did." This is at the same time that the scene where My man is pitting up the lights. He falls off the gutter. He breaks the gutter. The ice shoots off of the gutter through the window and crashes into the neighbor's stereo. So that scene is going on, and it's a loud scene. So it begins to unfold, and it gets loud. And so she turns, and she looks over her shoulder, and she's watching it, and she sees the ice fly off, go through the window, hit the stereo, and she just, what the bleep? It was like, oh, okay. Maybe she didn't say that. Maybe I don't speak 3-year-old the right way. And she said it again. And so now it's like, no, that is definitely what she said. This is great, but you can't laugh because everybody knows if you laugh at a child, they'll just walk around saying that word. Got to be stern face. So I'm wondering, is the dad ever going to step in? His wife hit him on the arm like, yo, you hear your daughter? He's like, no, come here, what you say? She said it a third time. It's like, yo, I can't keep sitting here while this child is dropping the F word. So the father, stern face, hey, don't say that word. That's a bad word. We don't say that. What word? Bleep? Like, yes, that is the word. And by then we had lost it. Everybody had to leave the room, falling out in the
you can't have that
dining room
discussion.
laughing.
No, that's why you can't have that discussion with the kid in public because people will just laugh. It will.
No, it's terrible.
No, people will. No, you can't. No. My son, when he was 2, he wasn't 3, yeah, so 2.5 or so. He came up to me and he was playing with one of his. He was playing with some action figures of some sort, and he came up to me and he's like, "Here's this one. Here's that one." And I was like, "Oh, cool." He's like, "This guy's name is something," and then he goes, "This other guy's name is A-hole."
Oh,
but he said it like I was like. So I looked because he was, he's still 2, and so 2-year-olds, they kind of have a little bit of a, they don't speak the most clear. So I was like, his name is what? And he goes, A-hole, like very clearly. I was like, oh. So, but this is where having a wife who's worked with kids and all kinds of situations. My wife, she'd been a counselor for kids and stuff for a while, so she taught me a few things. One of the things was, poker face. They only say it to get a rise out of you, which is exactly what you did. You gave them all the rise that they wanted. If you poker face it, then it takes all the sting out of it. And then it's just like, okay, I'll just go on about it. So I poker faced. I was like, okay. And then I was like, go talk to your mom. And she, give her credit, she brilliantly turned it into Axel. And she said, oh, his name is Axel. And then he's like, okay, it's Axel. And he just morphed right over and went on about his business. So that thing was named Axel, and that was close enough, and it all worked out. So poker face for all the parents out there. If you number one, kids are basically DVRs. They may not, even at younger ages, they may not say it back to you, but they're recording everything that you say to them or everything that they hear. Mm-hmm. Little pitchers have big ears, as they like to say, and so you have they it's all there, and they may just pop out with it, days later that you had no idea that they heard it, but they heard it. So mind your tongue when they're in earshot, and then if they do that, don't react. You got to just poker face, just okay, yeah, all right, and then later on you can have a conversation and say, this word is not what we want to say. But if you go, what did you say? Oh my God, that's no. Then now you've given them. Now they're going oh, okay, I see. This is fun. Let me say this over and over and over again.
The niece, she said it for clarification. She was really taken aback because I'm assuming she's heard that phrase multiple times being said in her vicinity. Mm-hmm. So that is why she said it that fourth time. Like, wait, I didn't know. Why are you saying it? So that is when several of us excused ourselves, because you're right. If you laugh, they're just going to keep saying it. They are. That is when several of us excused ourselves from the living room to the dining room to gain our composure and hold one another as we shook with violent laughter.
I mean, you can't listen. You cannot expect people not to laugh in that situation because it's very funny. And it was very difficult for me not to just completely lose my mind. Either to laugh or to get mad, one of the two. I can't figure out which one exactly. But just to either be, like, oh, you can't say that, or either way. You don't want no major reactions.
None.
Just Keep it tight. Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's the name. Okay. I'm a bee. Okay. And then just kind of.
Oh no, not on that one. No, I'm a bee.
Well, on that
okay.
one, and that one you got to go.
You got to catch
yeah,
these hands.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Time. Maybe
Zach,
not the full force, but you're definitely getting a thump. You got to somewhere.
Yeah. So Zach
A
is gonna
thump combo.
Zach's gonna. I don't know. I would still probably bet on the child.
Why are you disrespecting me?
I mean, let me see your fight style. Give me like a stance. Let me see what if you're gonna get ready to fight.
I thought
like
this was his stance. Like
we
when
watched
this hit last week.
Against a child?
Just any fight. Let's say you're gonna fight CJ.
Why me? Oh, wait a second. No, don't fight me. I don't like pretending that.
He's not fighting me, so I mean,
Pretend you fighting a Leviathan or Laughthin. Whatever.
Leviathan.
That one too.
No, you're not. No. He has to fight. I want to see him fight just a regular human, a human fight. Because
you're fighting Mike Tyson.
No. Stop. CJ, you don't understand what I'm doing. Stop. Don't throw any advice here. I just want him to fight just a regular person. I want to see what his stance looks like. Well, your stance for Mike Tyson is going to be totally different. Your stance for Leviathan, you're just running away from people. I want to see if he's actually trying to fight. I want to see against whatever opponent you think you could actually fight, and you would normally do it. Because remember, we watched that video a couple weeks ago of the guy that got roundhouse kicked, and he fought that one dude that could like box and kick and all that. But you could see that the shirtless guy had a terrible stance and terrible form from the very beginning. You could see he was going to lose the fight before it even started. So I want to see what Zach's form looks like. So I want to see just in general. So Zach, show me, like if you're going to fight, like you decide, like that's it. Whatever this has happened, you and whoever this is, you've decided we're going to fight. We have to fight now. The fight is on. We have to settle this like gentlemen in combat. What does it look like? Give me your stance. Give me your hands. What are we doing?
I mean, it's like a boxer stance. You know?
like if you're fighting, like if I'm saying let's go. Okay, now you're in trouble. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Why the whole other side of your head exposed? Like he's got both
the
arms
top of your
up, but
head,
they're to the side.
What you gonna go over like like going like a windmill on my head?
I'm just gonna like right around.
I will
like
step to the right and then slap you on the side.
That's right here. I mean, you got to. I was teaching. We were doing this yesterday. Me and my son. This was part of our PE for school. We were doing boxing training. You got to get your hands up, and you got to make sure you're protecting your head. You got to have head movement, but like that's tricky for me because I got a giant head, so it's very hard for me to have a lot of head movement. That's tiring for me. It tires me out in the fight. but you got to keep your hands up, and your hands are like out here. There's like a big old space right here to get. No, I don't like it.
Yes, here we go, round one. So, you're looking for a fight, a little Street Fighter Gold? Yes, okay. Come at me, shirtless guy. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. Yes, you've tried, but I'm coming back at you. A little kick there. How about a Daio Chagi, I believe is the pronunciation of the Taekwondo mid-form that I'm using right there, and a fake Haidoken. A little yoga fire. No. How about this? I transition to Mortal Kombat and finish him. Yes, no, maybe. I guess we're waiting for round two. Yes.
It was Frank Caliendo's doing Jeff Goldblum. That was extremely good. That was a great fight. Jeff Goldblum against the shirtless guy. Mm-hmm. Tremendous. I need more of that. I need more people just randomly fighting on the streets. Always fun because people, you cannot fight on the streets because you don't know when you're going to catch the guy like that guy that is like secret Taekwondo brown belt or has some significant training. Like as soon as he got into that stance, you could see his stance was good and shirtless guy's stance was real bad, and you could say, that was, you knew where this was going. And then those hands, he got some quickness, and the feet, he can let those things loose. And
the way he switched stances before the round.
Yeah. He went southpaw on him.
Got to have an exit strategy. Mm-hmm. When you realize, okay, this is not going, grab and fall. Like that is the just grab and fall.
Turtle up.
Try and land on top of him. That's all you can do, man. Yeah. Or run like the wind.
Or run, exactly, yeah. It's like when you're, you've challenged someone to a game of one-on-one and they just hit 4 beautiful shots in a row and you're like, I pulled something.
Cramp,
I can't.
cramp.
No, I'm out. I can't. No, I wish I could. No.
You've already lost. No need to get embarrassed as well.
No, you might as well just duck out with whatever tiny shred of dignity is left, which is probably not very much at this stage. All right, so Zach, I'm looking forward to this on pay-per-view. Zach against a 2-year-old, and let's see what happens.
It'll be good.
Let's see. Let the chips fall where they may. Speaking of fighting, we're going to talk to our friend Dustin Starr coming up later on in the show. He is no stranger to combat. We're going to talk to Starr about some fun stuff, and then we're going to talk about a sad bit of news as well. As I know, a friend of his and a big name in the wrestling world, Shad Gaspard, was found yesterday morning having drowned in the Pacific Ocean. Just an awful, awful thing. So we'll talk about that and about his legacy with Starr coming up later on in the show. We're also going to talk about a bit of, and we'll do this when we come back. I don't know that it's unexpected bad news or anything like that, but it's definitely bad news for the University of Memphis when it pertains to next year on the basketball court. We'll discuss that and also some news about some of the policies that we're starting to see and a little bit of a ramp up coming in a couple of sports. So I think there are a little bit of potential light at the end of the tunnel with some ideas about the NBA and more. So all of that is still to come here. Sports 56 Mornings, Peter and CJ, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
Every home has have-to-dos and probably some want-to-dos. The Home Depot can help you do both with the things you need to make things work a little better or take care of something you've been meaning to do. Maybe do something to start summer. We have the low prices to make it all doable. Order online and get free delivery on orders over $45. Whatever you need to do or want to do, we can help you get it done. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Some delivery exclusions apply.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
You can get podcasts of all our daily shows and all of our biggest interviews delivered right to your inbox just by signing up at sports56whpq.com. It's the best way to stay informed on what's going on in sports, and it's brought to you by Surfacescapes Concrete Floors. They'll get your pool deck looking new and beautiful this year, and it'll be up to 20 degrees cooler on your feet. Call 901-888-5000 or go to surfacescapes.com. Get full shows and the best interviews from Sports 56 delivered straight to your inbox. Sign up at sports56whpq.com.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength. What we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Desire, believe when I say I want it that way. But we are
Are we doing boy band Thursday again?
No,
Okay.
we're doing karaoke.
Well, nobody's singing, so that doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
the popular
Shouldn't it just be
karaoke
instrumental,
song.
and then we would...
Oh, we can do it that way.
Nothing but a heartache. Is this
Tell
a popular
me
karaoke
why.
song? Oh.
Yes.
Very.
Tell me why. I never want to hear you say.
I have seen a lot of girls sing this song, and
You see a lot of girls sing the song?
yes,
It's a good song.
Why not the dudes? Why aren't they singing the song?
because they want to go up there and sing.
Oh, okay.
I sing. What's wrong with that? What's the point of karaoke? You better play thong song then. if you're doing popular karaoke songs, that's you got to play my jam.
Is thong song popular, or is that just your go-to?
It's my go-to. It's
Okay.
extremely popular when I sing it. I can't speak. I don't know about other times because it's a great song. It's a great karaoke song. Like it's a top. That's a whole separate. You should put that on topic on the wheel. The great karaoke songs, but it is absolutely top. As long as again, the key to karaoke. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The key to karaoke is commitment. You have got to go up there and sell it. I don't want you to halfway get up there and be like, "Let me see your thong." No. You have got to sell it. You got to live it. You got to want it. If you get up there and whatever song you sing, if you sing it with passion, people are going to get into it.
Okay. I've never karaoke'd.
Never karaoke?
Nope.
Oh my!
I have seen a lot of karaoke, but I never participated.
I've never seen it.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
you should.
Oh,
Especially get on a cruise boat and like watch karaoke. It's like
You
the
get on a cruise boat. Well, first of all, you can't. I mean, now I don't know when we're going to go back to karaoke days. But
Well, I'm
whenever
just-
that's been decimated. The karaoke industry has been decimated by this. But,
I'm just saying if and when things get back to normal, you should get on a cruise boat and like go to one of those karaoke sessions because those people are hammered, but
yes, that's
but
part
that
of karaoke
liquid
also, is that
courage.
you should probably need to be hammered. That's a good.
Okay.
That helps. You got to lubricate the courage, a little bit.
It's hilarious, man.
That's right. That's a term. It is great. I've karaoke'd hundreds of times, probably. I mean, there's a lot. That's a lot of karaoke. I've done so many songs. I karaoke'd Mystic Styles one time by 3 6 Mafia.
Did they have that up there?
No.
Okay.
But I brought the track. I brought the backing track, and there were obviously no lyrics on the screen, but I didn't need them. I had the whole thing.
What?
The crowd was mystified because it was demographically maybe not an expectant crowd for that sort of song, but it was. I felt good about that. I felt like that was a good introduction to, a side of music that maybe some folks hadn't seen. That was good. I felt like I was doing the Lord's work right there.
Text in on the First Bank text line 67129. You can too. The key to karaoke is to be just drunk enough to have no nerves, but
Exactly.
not so drunk that you suck.
Yes, that's a great point. You can definitely be too drunk, and then you just it's embarrassing, and you're like but you do kind of have to have a little. You gotta get that ball rolling. Proverbially speaking, you got to get that ball rolling. But thong song, if you every time people jump up and go crazy.
Do they jump up and go crazy before the thong song?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I've
performed thong song where we had I would say at least a handful of ladies were like getting down, showing thongs, like getting it. Yes,
That's what Cisco wanted to.
Inspired
you to do.
by the music, which is exactly what Cisco wanted.
Yes.
So they were inspired.
Good.
You got
Good for you out here
just like
inspiring
Cisco.
folks.
Just like Cisco, you gotta go. Yeah, you gotta just like lean back and just like you gotta
like get into it. Sell that.
Yes,
sell that part.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just be careful. There's a couple words in there. Somebody like me shouldn't be singing in private or in public. Certainly in those situations, you have to be careful with that song. But otherwise, have at it. You can censor yourself. No, but it's not hard. I know some people say it's hard. It's really not.
No.
It's I've managed to go through my whole life and not do it. So you can do it. Yeah, I believe in all of you. You can avoid it if you really want to. You can do it. I promise you can. Now, we mentioned the news coming out yesterday. There have been some discussions, and we talked about it in the wake of these transfers that are going on. Most notably DeAndre Williams transferring from Evansville to Memphis. Landers Nolly transferring from Virginia Tech to Memphis. But both of them were kind of with the idea that there would be a one-time transfer allowance for each player would be able to transfer once without penalty. That does not appear to be the case. Yesterday, the NCAA more or less making it official that will be kicked to 21-22 at least. And so there will be no one-time transfer for this upcoming season, which means that if those guys are going to be able to play for the University of Memphis men's basketball team this season, they're going to have to do so after getting some kind of a waiver from the NCAA allowing it. And I don't know, status-wise what that would mean, those waivers. And even if you did, your guess is as good as mine about whether anyone's going to get them. We've seen some utterly different interpretations of that rule based on situations. Some people you would have thought would have gotten it, didn't get it. Some people that you thought had no chance would have got it. So your guess is as good as mine as to whether they'll actually get that. But the idea of being able to just say, look, it's a one-time transfer, let's go, which I think kid should be able to do whatever. I mean, at this stage, I think we've talked about it. But I think that does not appear to be the case, CJ.
No, and I understand that the NCAA is dealing with a lot, like everybody else is, because of the global pandemic and trying to figure out the best ways to conduct business in the near future and in the distant future. And so I understand trying to focus all of your attention, all your energy on that. But this seems like an easy thing to get past. This seems like it's real simple. Just, okay, yeah, this will be fine. We can allow one-time transfers this year. There's no need to push the decision back another year. Or, all right, we're going to have to push this decision back another year. Let's be a little bit more lenient because we are probably going to allow this one-time transfer thing to exist. Let's be lenient in the 2020-2021 season, and when people give us these waivers, let's go ahead and just approve them and be done with it. I don't understand why the NCAA does what it does. And this is another one of those instances, another one of those situations where they are fumbling over themselves and not progressing the way that they need to progress. And why coaches like Coach K are 2-3 years ago are pointing out the fact that, hey, we are getting left behind because we're not being forward-thinking enough.
Well, that's the thing with the NCAA is that you're never going to get quick, decisive, strong movement on something like this. I mean, you're going to get like movement eventually, but generally it comes way after it should have. It comes late. It comes with some kind of caveats or some issues or something that may come up. It's not the norm. It's not like what you would want a decisive leadership group to show. And that's ultimately going to be an interesting kind of thing to see how this actually plays out. But at the end of the day, man, it needs to happen. It should have already happened. These players need to have the opportunity to have movement. These players need to have the opportunity to be able to do the stuff that professional athletes to some extent can do, including making money. We're tiptoeing towards that stuff, but you and I both know where this is going to end up. It's unfortunate for the NCAA that it takes them a decade of dragging and maneuvering and all this stuff to make it happen. You know where this is going to end up. It's going to, if it doesn't, then the model is going to be messed up because the players are going to start getting away, at least at the top end. So it's going to end up, you're going to have to start paying these players. I saw somebody writing about it yesterday, and I forget who it was, so apologies, but it was a good point. There's never a better time than right now for players to make a strong push for some kind of a union amongst college players, to be able to collectively bargain and to negotiate as a group and all of that stuff. I mean, there's never been a better time because they've got, now there's some negotiation, there's some leeway. You have some power, you have some leverage in the situation. You can't just be forced to go back. You got to, there needs to be some movement on this, and I think now is a good time to do it. You got to strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, and it's, if the NCAA wanted to save itself, it could have. It could have, and this is another, you would think that the failure to do so in the late 2000s, in the late aughts, you would think that lesson that they should have learned then about getting out in front of some of this stuff would lead them to get out in front of things now. And they just seem to be hard-headed and don't want to change. You've got to drag the NCAA kicking and screaming every step of the way to change and to grow. And they don't seem like they want to do that. They want to keep it same old, so they keep all of the power. Because with money comes power. And when you have power, like you said, you can begin to negotiate the terms and conditions of your existence in this particular industry. And what the powers that be, the athletic directors and the NCAA, the top of the NCAA don't want is for players who have any real sort of power to dictate the terms and conditions of the agreement that the two entities would have. So the NCAA is dragging their feet on this. They're going to get left behind again, and this is going to be another one of those examples, another one of those things that a developmental league, a major developmental league, a minor league, and that the NBA is going to potentially put forth. One of the other things they can say to these recruits, like, hey, listen, you come here, I understand you would go to college for probably 2 years, maybe even 3, but you come here, play with us. Things like your coach leaving you and that affecting your playing time, that won't happen here. We can develop you, and we can pay you, and we can give you a free college education. All right, so come play with us. Like that's another one of those things they can say to use against the NCAA. Mm-hmm. And the NCAA is not allowing players to transfer and not allowing players to leave when coaches leave. That coaches can go wherever they want to go, whenever they want to do it. But players, God forbid, I need to transfer to be closer to my family, or it's not working here. I thought it was going to be one thing, and it's not. I need to leave to put myself in a better situation. God forbid something like that happens. Hey, I've blossomed into a pretty good college basketball player. I think I got some real potential. Let me improve my situation. How many times do we see coaches go from programs like at Evansville and get a head coaching job at one of the premier Power 5 programs in the nation? How many times have we seen a Shaka Smart leave a mid-major and get a head coaching job at Texas? God forbid a player leave VCU and go to a Texas or a Texas State or something like that. They have to sit out a year. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's we'll see what happens. But I would think that this would be a good time to kind of push that if you can, and to do those things that other students do. If you don't like the way that things are going at one school, you transfer you go to a different school. You find something else. That's just kind of the norm. So we'll see if anything comes from that. But I would imagine that, like anything else in the NCAA, it's just going to take time and too much time and dragging your feet and all that sort of thing before we actually see any kind of major movement. We've seen more movement in the last, I don't know what, few months than we have in years and decades and all that on this name, image, likeness, and everything else. So yeah, it's another example of all of that. Now, that being said, we've got news locally from University of Memphis football and where things stand with Memphis. and not only in a return, but potentially for some other games and all sorts of stuff. So news there. That's what we'll talk about next. Sports 56 Mornings, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Check out Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 96.1 FM and 87.7 FM.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles, when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. The East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire-roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Yeah, who's gonna sing it?
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Hey,
What was that?
So here's my number, so call me maybe.
Zabba-dee-doo-doo.
In the back, girl. In the back, girl. Get it. Go.
It's always in the back. It's always in the back, girl. Always. Get it. What? Get it. What? Seriously, what?
I have no This seems like it would be a fun karaoke song to do, though. I feel like karaoke songs should be upbeat, light, fun.
The real secret is that every song is fun to do karaoke. Well, not every song, but many songs are. Even songs that you don't think are necessarily fun to do in karaoke actually are, because as long as you sell it, you got to sell it.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. If you sell it, then it's all good. If you don't, It's no fun. Any song is fun when you actually sell it.
Okay.
Maybe a super slow song, but even a super slow song can be fun if you sell it the right way.
Boys to Men, ooh ah. I would do that one just to get to Mike's part, because I would kill that part. I would stand up there silently for the first two voices. The first two voices, I would stand up there silently, and then Mike's part would come on, and I'd hit you with it.
Yeah, Mike's part is real
great.
Is real interesting in that song. Mike's part is interesting all the way around. Mike is great. If I could really get the voice super deep, then you could really have fun with that. But nonetheless, now we were talking about the NCAA situation. So I know the University of Memphis football, it's still they're still trying to figure some things out. Basically, is the gist of it. I saw where Jeff Hawkins talked to David Rudd in the Daily Memphian. I know that he's talked to some other folks as well about the plan of action. And mirroring a lot of schools around the country, the trick is obviously how do you figure out how to ramp this up. You got a lot of issues. Okay, number one, obviously you've got different regulations in different states. You've got 10 different states represented. In many of these conferences that all individually have different rules about groupings, size of groupings, etc. So that's you can't have one set plan across the entire world of college sports and even in your conference, because how are you going to do that? It just doesn't work, right? So they're dealing with that, trying to come up with a plan. Will everyone be able to come back? If not, what do you do? If some schools can, some schools can't. Well, how do you handle that? Then when you come back, what are the things you have to have? We always talked about testing is the key. You got to have testing. You got to have testing. But how do you get the number of tests that you're going to need on a regular basis? If you have 100 players on the team plus staff, everybody else, let's just say 125, 150 tests that you're going to need. The gold standard would be to test frequently. We're talking every day, every other day. I mean, on a regular basis. But if those tests cost $100 a pop
for each individual test,
yeah, I mean, you're talking about which it pretty much does. If you go get a test now in a non-subsidized environment, if you just go get a test from somewhere, you're going to pay $120, $150, whatever. That's what you would probably pay. So let's say the test's $100. Man, that gets expensive real fast. You're talking about doing 150 tests at $100 a pop per day, per whatever. That number, shoots way up into the six figures within a few weeks, the high six figures. So that's unsustainable. You can't do that. Even professional leagues are struggling with that, and they have access to a lot more money. So can you bring it down? Well, his idea is to bring small groups. You test in small groups because it can bring the cost down precipitously. If you can test groups and do a big bulk test together, you can lower the costs. But that also means that you're having those groups together, and if one person is positive in that group, then the whole group has to be set out. And and then the idea of if testing is still not prevalent within the general community, you need to prioritize sports, even if they can get access to it? Are they taking any tests away from people in the process? You got to make sure you're not doing that as well. If you can do all those things, then you can start to make it happen. I know the University of Memphis is allowed to kind of the NCAA has put out there that voluntary workouts can happen on campus beginning June 1st. So once they start coming back, how do you do it? And like a lot of university presidents and athletic directors and everybody else, there are a lot of challenges.
Yeah, and it's because of what we know and don't know about COVID-19. It makes opening up. It makes getting back to a different sort of normal hard. There are way more questions right now than there are answers in terms of what do you do, how do you test players, how can you have socially distant football practice, a sport that is very physical, where you've got to go through and get hit and be hit, those types of things. How can you do those things while also mitigating the risk of somebody coming down with the coronavirus? And what happens when a player comes down with the coronavirus? What happens if you're going to do batch testing and then that batch comes back positive, and then you do individual testing and you isolate that player? What happens next? How that player going to be isolated for 14 days? How can you isolate the player from the rest of the team? Are you going to shut things down? What is the number, right? How many positive tests is it going to take before you say, you know what, we're going to have to shut down? And if you shut down, what does that look like? And then what does restarting your football training look like as well? There are a whole lot more questions than answers right now, and that's just the nature of what we're trying to do with the coronavirus and COVID-19.
Well, you got to find that sweet spot. I mean, you can do a pendulum thing where, you go from one extreme to the other, where you're closed up, then you open it back up, and then you go too far, and then you got to swing it back in the other direction, and then to find that equilibrium is difficult. Yeah, I think it's going to take a lot of efforts. I think there's going to be some mess ups. I think there's going to be some issues. Maybe not necessarily in Memphis, but maybe in other school. It's inevitable, just like we've seen in soccer and the return of the German league. They've had positive tests. How do you handle that? 10 positive tests, I think. So there's going to be stuff. There's going to be issues. I mean, you're seeing it with a return to work. They shut down Bryant-Denny Stadium yesterday. The construction had been going on because they have more than 10 positive tests on the site, and they weren't necessarily taking care of folks there, and the workers were getting concerned, and so they had to shut down the entire thing. And this is after they did a deep cleaning over the weekend. I mean, we still don't. There's still a lot of stuff we don't know about this, and so you're going to have these situations that crop up. How do you handle it? That's the question. And then some more news coming out from old Jonesboro, where the Red Wolves, Arkansas State Red Wolves athletic director Terry Mohahir says that the Arkansas State and Memphis will extend their football series beginning in 2026 for 4 more games. They're going to start another one this year, for 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, or no, 20 through 23, excuse me. Then they'll take a little break, then they'll jump back up in 26 through 30. And it's going to be this is basically a home and home, so or 2 and 2 is the deal. So, I mean, I think it's good locally to have Jonesboro represented. I think at this point though, it feels like Memphis might have outgrown this series a little bit. I'm a little bit surprised to see it extended to this length and this level. To me, this doesn't you would want. I mean, I could see it's not that big of a deal, but I'm a little surprised to see it extended to this length, to be honest. It just seems like Memphis might be a little past this point.
You can't complain about bigger schools not wanting to play you, or about how difficult it is to schedule an Arkansas or Ole Miss or Mississippi State if you're Memphis, and then not do Arkansas State a solid. Like that is the comparison.
But that's a very solid though.
And
I mean, that's a real
that's
solid.
That I like it. I wish that I'm glad that they continued it through. If we had like a scheduling czar, if you said, CJ, you're the scheduling czar of college football, I would make sure to get these types of matchups on the schedule. Memphis, Arkansas State, or Southern Miss, Memphis, in addition to the Memphis, Tennessee, or the Memphis, Ole Miss. Like, get both of them, because regionally it matters. It matters from a regional standpoint, and it's a game. You can fill it out. Memphis still has, 4 out of conference games? Is it 4 or 3? I can't remember what the American has. It's 4. You still got 3 more out of conference games to try and go out there and get one of those bigger names and bigger regional names as well. I think it's great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's just like I said, it seems like a lot, and I think if you're starting to repopulate your out of conference schedules, you want to keep that. That's good. Maybe like a 3-2 though, or like a 2-1. I don't. You're not to the 1 for 2 yet, but maybe like a 3 for 2. Does that add up a little better? I don't know. I think Memphis is bringing more to the table than Arkansas State at this point. They've changed a lot to give them a straight home and home to that degree. Now it is a short trip. It's it's a very, very much a regional game, and the group of 5 schools do kind of have to circle the wagons a little bit in the wake of Power 5s doing the same. But I think the schedule would look. If we've talked about the ideal schedule before. I don't know that A-State is on the ideal schedule. I get it, but I don't know that they're on the.
What is the ideal schedule?
You need to have an Ole Miss, and then another big game, another Power 5, an Ole Miss type, either Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Arkansas, somebody with regional SEC ties. Mm-hmm. Then you need to have another big-time game of some sort.
So that's 2, and there's 2 more.
There's 2 more, but you also are going to have your bye game, and you're going to have to figure out where is that game going to be. And
so that's UT Martin. So there's still 1 more, and it can if you're going to be playing like a Louisiana Lafayette or you're going to be playing a Georgia Southern, like why not just play one of the regional schools?
Like I said, I'm not like super angry or anything. I was a little surprised. I think it's a little balanced more towards Arkansas State than Memphis. It's fine, but I think that you're giving them a little bit of you're doing a little favor for them. That's the way it looks to me. When we return, hour number 2 on the way. In hour number 2, we're going to spin the wheel of conversation. We're going to talk about the NBA creeping back. There's a little more actual intel coming out, some actual information about what things may look like and where all this action is going to happen. Some place has started to take the lead in the discussions. We'll tell you where. When we return, hour number 2, Real Sports Talk, Sports 5690 6180 77.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary. The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive? Take the car for a couple of days if you want. Streamlined buying process, you're not going to be there all day. In and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar. Take it into Mississippi. The first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
I'm Dr. George Flynn with an update on the skin clinics and COVID-19. We continue to be open for elective medical procedures such as Botox, Scarlet, and Agnes. And we thank you for abiding by our new safety protocols and for your patience with longer than average times for appointments. We're still having reduced appointment times for the safety of our clients and staff. At this time, after consulting with outside medical experts also and following the community guidelines, we believe it best to wait to offer aesthetic services such as brow shaping, waxing, and facials. We look forward to offering these services as soon as possible. The Skin Clinics is currently accepting names for a waiting list that we will use to fill appointment times when we can begin offering these services and these procedures. Call us at 345-7546. That's 345-SKIN to book your medical procedure or to get on the waiting list for aesthetic treatments. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Hey everybody, our friends at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch say congrats to the high school and college class of 2020. And it's a great time to help your grad get a new or pre-owned Chevy. And if you're ready to get that new Suburban, Tahoe, Silverado, Blazer, or even pre-order one of those hot new Corvettes, All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch is where you want to be. Because the people at All-Star Chevy make it fun, easy, and safe, whatever makes you comfortable. They'll even bring any All-Star Chevy car, truck, or SUV to you. And you'll pay a lot less than at those city dealers. GM's financing means no payments for 4 months and 0 interest for 84 months. That's on any new Equinox or Silverado. Thousands in cash back with Blazers, Silverados, and more. And everybody at All-Star Chevy has one job: to make sure you get a better deal, have more fun, and in record time. And all sanitized and safe for you. They'll even pick up and deliver for maintenance and service. Remember, it's not the Pike, not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Collierville. It's gotta be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Farmers Insurance knows that there's a not-so-subtle difference between the sound of a car hitting your rear bumper and the sound of a clown car hitting your rear bumper.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Sorry about that.
We call that a three-ring fender bender, and we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent.
They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I thought you were gonna take it away.
I don't know the lyrics without reading them well enough.
Okay.
Muscle shows they love the governor.
Okay.
Something like that. And Berman Watergate does not bother me. Something like that.
The people turned up when this one comes on. I've never seen it perform karaoke style. I've been at parties and this song has come on and seen the crowd reactions.
We used to do FU Alabama.
Oh, okay.
That was we always enjoyed that. That was fun for game day situation back when I was in Tennessee and we weren't terrible. But I will tell you that you're talking another victory in the recruiting game for Tennessee. By the way, Cayman Marley is his name, and Cayman Marley is going to play for the University of Tennessee, a 4-star athlete who says committed to, and he has a video of him and running through the tee or some kind of a thing and with Tennessee stuff, and it says committed, and I don't know if he did that or I don't know. These kids now, man, it's and he says no interviews, please. He doesn't want to talk about this. He just wants to focus on the football, and that's what it's all about right here. So he's focusing on that football. Dylan Brooks is also he's the 5-star guy out of Alabama, not the Grizzly player. He's committed as well. So this is another major get for Jeremy Pruitt and the Vols, and the only question is now. How Alabama recover and, how badly will Tennessee win this year and all the years? That's the question. I mean, I think it's basically now just a matter of how many national championships is Tennessee going to win? Is it going to be 2, 3? I don't know.
2014, Tennessee had, according to 247, they had the number 7 ranked class. 2015, they had the number 3 ranked class. And then Butch Jones was promptly let go not too long after that.
I mean, there were some other things involved in Butch Jones being let go, but yes, you're right about that. Anyway, point being, Tennessee's going to win a national championship. So exciting news for everybody out there. That's really cool.
When is this national championship?
I mean, that's the question. I would guess maybe next year. I mean, that might be a little
when
soon,
and how many?
Well, that's what I just said. Like, I think it's going to be at least 2 or 3. Just a matter of does it start now or does it, maybe a year wait just to get everybody settled in, and then 2021. When college football is played in sanitized bubbles on the ocean or something, then that's where they're going to win, and so that's great. That's where the action is. But in all seriousness, CJ, where should they put the statue of Jeremy Pruitt?
Oh, that's a good question. I think you got to put it somewhere prominent on campus. I don't know how Tennessee's campus is set up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never been to good old Rocky Top.
Oh.
So I guess
nice.
they got the little
buildings?
river that you come up, right? So just
It's not
stick
little,
it right there.
It's not little, but yes.
Yeah, just stick it right there on the river. So people who are tailgating on their yachts or their boats or have a Tennessee fans tailgate up there, they see him right there when
Lots
they
of
come
different
off.
boats.
Yeah.
Yes, lots of different boats, almost like a lighthouse showing you the way to the football stadium.
Right. Right. I've been there too.
You've been there?
Yeah, I've been there
You
several
said 2,
times.
so he hasn't.
Yeah, I haven't been.
Yeah, he hasn't.
I guess the 2 would be you, Peter.
I think he just misspoke. But
Okay.
yes.
No, I've been there. My sister, she graduated from UT.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot
So
of
what'd
hills.
you think about it?
A lot of hills.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Lot of
hills.
hills.
By hills, you mean like mountains? And then in
No,
the
it's a
mountains?
very hilly campus. As you
Okay.
go up and down the, we're walking to class, you'll go up and down, many hills. That's including the hill, where many of the old oldest buildings and all that stuff are on top of the hill, and so you have certain classes that are there and all that stuff. So yes,
Is there a yard? Does Tennessee have a yard?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
got a quad or whatever.
Okay, there we go.
whatever you wanna
That's
call it.
yard, quad, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got. It's not like it's not as prominent as some of the other campuses have, but it's there's areas. There's plenty of nice spaces out there.
I'm just trying to figure out, since it's so hilly, like where do you guys go
it's not
to
all
kick
hills.
it
I mean,
and,
there
and
are, like,
hang out
flat.
and catch your breath?
There are flat areas. Of
Okay.
course.
Yeah.
It's not all hills, but there's a lot. There are there are plenty of hills. Is what I'm saying. It's if you want to go. When I would walk from one end to the other, it was I had one annoying class that was literally on the other end of campus, and so I was my apartment was on the south. I don't know which geographic end. Whatever it was, my class was on the
It
other
was
end
somewhere.
entirely, and it was annoying. Most of mine were not that far. That one was quite a haul over these hills and stuff. So, nonetheless, Tennessee national championships coming back to Rocky Top. That's exciting news. With another, it is pretty amazing though. This is a class that's like top whatever. Like this thing is like
2. I think it's top 2
yeah,
right now.
It's 2 right
I think
now.
It's 2.
And Ohio State is the
Good
one.
God,
And
how?
they're about to get Tennessee's about to catch Ohio State.
Okay. Which Michigan? My God.
Yeah.
Why?
It is. I mean, this is Jeremy Pruitt is the master of video conference recruiting.
Yes.
That's one thing we know. I don't know. Maybe in home he's not very good, but like when he can zoom in, when you get those Zoom visits,
what must those
he's the
backgrounds
master
be?
of the Zoom visit. I don't know. Maybe it's just big piles of money. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's crazy. It's crazy. It's wild to think of all of this. But they've really done a tremendous job of getting themselves into the mix here and up in the quality. That's what you got to do. I mean, that's the precursor to any improvement in your play. Is you just got to get better players. It's not really that difficult to figure out the formula. It is difficult to actually do it. And especially when you haven't had a lot of success of late, but for whatever reason, they seem to have broken through and made an impression on a lot of these high schoolers and seniors in class of 2020, class of 2021. They're making a big impression on these kids.
You can't bake the cake if you don't have the ingredients. But just because you have the ingredients doesn't mean you're good at baking. I mean, I brought up Butch Jones and his ability to go out there and get the ingredients, not a whole lot of success on the field. Jim Harbaugh, another one who can go out there, and I think Michigan right now is 11. I think the lowest they've been recruiting-wise has been like 25, 26 or something like that. But it doesn't always amount to success, or the success that you think it should on the football field. But the first thing you got to do, though, Peter, you are right, is go out there and get the players. That is first and foremost. Otherwise, you're chasing your tail here, man. So let's see what the on-field coaching looks like for Pruitt now.
Let's see what happens. But you know, as you said, they're going to the grocery store and they've gotten some good groceries. Now you got to cook them a little bit, but we got to make it happen. Now,
what happened?
I have to figure out. I just saw something that is blowing my mind here, and I cannot. I can't understand what's happening here. So this is really.
Do you need
really
to take
strange.
a moment to gather yourself?
Well, it involves an Alabama situation, and I didn't. This is just news, and so there's I just found there's a guy that I saw a picture. All I saw, just somebody threw it out there of a picture of a what appears to be one of the dolls that was at the Korean games. Do you remember the Korean?
Oh
yes,
games?
Those sorts of dolls. The
Zach saw it.
Zach, do you know what I'm talking about?
Zach is laughing, so I'm assuming Zach saw it.
I don't know if Zach saw it or not, but
Zach, did you see it? Just a thumbs up if you saw it. Nod your head. Okay. Oh, Zach saw it. Okay.
I saw this Alabama banner in the background of this shot, but the shot is what appears to be a sex doll, a very realistic sex doll, in a birthing position, but with like as you would see a woman in labor, but except this is a sex doll, and a gentleman who I guess is a Alabama fan, excited and holding his brand new baby. They're doing pictures of this sex doll having a little baby.
A baby what?
A boy.
Okay.
A baby boy doll, and he has an Alabama shirt on and a bunch of Alabama hats, and he's posing with his doll and his baby doll in the bed with Alabama stuff in the background, as if he's the proud father of he's got the medical gear, he's got a hat on covering his hair, he's got his mom, I guess, was like the midwife or something. This is one of those bizarre things I've ever seen.
What in the hell are you guys talking about?
You have to see this. This guy's a massive Alabama fan, and he's soothing his quote unquote baby boy, which is a doll, and then he's got a picture of the doll holding this little. I got to show you that. I can't explain this to you. They put out an actual like a birth certificate for this stuff. I'm very. This is one of the more disturbing things I think I've ever seen.
Why? Zach retweeted.
Jesus, people are weird.
You can't. I'm not even sure that you can. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, this is Alabama fans are really struggling, is what I'm saying, with Tennessee having recruited so well.
CJ, I'm sending
Alabama fans are having a real tough time.
You sending it to me?
I'm sending you the article as well.
There's an article?
There's a story on.
Yeah, there's a story about. I don't even know if I can do it.
Okay.
Proper justice. As I said, I had a whole series of thoughts in my head about the restarting the NBA season, but as soon as I saw a gentleman wearing an Alabama shirt and an Alabama banner celebrating the birth of a baby doll from a sex doll, it stopped. You have to admit that will stop you in your tracks. You have to be honest. That's something that's going to cause you to have a little bit of a moment there. You saw the whole thing, Zach. You saw what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Can you explain it? Is there any? I mean, I tried my best to explain it. I feel as though it defies all explanation. This is one of the most insane things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Okay, while you guys gather yourselves, everybody's never too early to start thinking about breakfast. Sunrise has got you covered. They got the family packs that feeds 2, 4, or 6 people. Comes with biscuits, bacon, and sausage, scrambled
Dolls,
eggs.
too.
We'll say what?
They love it. Dolls, too, if you have dolls. Or
Sure, why not?
Absolutely.
Got
more breakfast for you.
Your
is what I
doll
say.
in labor? Go ahead and get you some of their family pack. You can also get one of their delicious breakfast casseroles as well, the spinach and egg white, the biscuits and gravy, hash brown, southwestern casserole, and don't forget about the blueberry sweet biscuit casserole. Sunrise, Memphis, located at 670 Jefferson Avenue. Go check them out. I can't wait to look at this picture.
I'm concerned. I feel like this guy's either in terrible mental health or incredible mental health, and I can't decide which. Maybe he's so healthy that he doesn't even care.
The doll has socks on her feet. Wait, what is happening here?
See what I'm talking about? You see what I'm saying?
What is going on?
Do you see what I'm saying? You see why I was just utterly stopped in my tracks by this?
Huh?
Uh-huh. See?
What?
That's the reaction. That's exactly right. That's
How
the reaction.
is this happening?
Like, what is?
Why is this happening?
Don't stop there. Go to the original tweet and scroll through the comments, because the person that actually tweeted this out, she's tweeting pictures like this. The guy's on the floor because he passed out because of the labor.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think this guy is either, and I think I'm beginning to think this guy is in outstanding mental health, and he just doesn't. He's embraced this. He's embraced his very strange side of whatever this doll has become his, and he's fully on board with it. I mean,
no wonder all those damn players are choosing Tennessee over Alabama. You can't play with fans like this guy.
Man, I genuinely hope this guy's okay. I hope he's got this figured out. But his mom is involved, and she seems okay with it. So I mean, he's got a support system. Like, that's good. That's good. His mom is in on the situation. So that's exciting.
One of the tweets
Baby does not look like him, though. I'll say that.
One of the tweets said, thinking how to tell him the baby's not his.
Yeah,
they named the doll's name is Hunter.
Yeah,
the baby boy's name is Hunter. I mean, baby boy, what in the hell am I saying?
See what I mean? You see what I'm talking about?
Oh my God!
And I'm not even gonna. I don't even want to retweet it because I don't.
Don't worry, my Twitter's not professional at all. I retweeted it at Conrad on this. Go check it out. This is weird, Peter.
Well, you understand now why I happened to glance it, and when I glanced at it, it stopped me completely because trying to figure out. Then my brain was trying to figure out what I was seeing because I couldn't quite, and I still can't.
Whoa!
Boy, oh boy, this is wild.
Are we that bored? Is that where we are in quarantine?
I don't think this is. I don't think this is boredom at all.
What is? There's Peter. There's a birth.
I know.
Certificate
That's why I said
worksheet.
There's a birth certificate. Yeah, I know. I'm.
They put balloons on the door.
They put balloons on the door. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. Like I said, this guy might be the healthiest one of all of us, because maybe he's completely embraced this, and he's just like, you know what? I don't even care. That's cool. That's the way it is, and I'm happy, and this makes me happy, and so there you go. You know what? We all need happiness in our life. So wherever it comes, if it comes from having a sex doll give birth to a baby that you want to, pretend is or that you think is your, I don't. Then hey, that in these quarantine times, man, we all got to have a hobby.
Here,
this is his hobby.
Hey, don't say anything to me about talking to plants anymore. If my man can.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say you Brougham is Broham like
Broham.
Broham gonna have a baby plant? Do we need to send? You want some pictures? Do you need what do we need here?
I don't, Peter. Huh? What you just say?
I'm glad you understand why I was completely my
What?
brain just shut down for a second.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
I can't. I need.
What is happening?
I know. I need time to investigate this. Long story short, for those just joining us, there is an Alabama fan who has apparently had an ongoing relationship, such as it could be, with a sex doll or a doll of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure it's a sex doll.
Peter, it would have to be a sex doll because it got pregnant.
Didn't yeah, okay. Sure. And then this person has then proceeded to simulate a birth of a doll. The baby does not appear to have been made with quite the same care as the mother, in terms of the production. The sort of the production value is a little lower on the baby, it would appear.
It takes babies a while to grow out of that awkward phase.
I mean, I've been blessed enough to have been present for the birth of both my children, and this is not kind of how it went. But
okay,
you
didn't fake pass out on the floor.
No, I did not fake or real pass out on the floor. And then but his mom, this gentleman's mom, is involved as the midwife, and then the baby has come out, and he's posing for pictures as if this is a true birth
with all the Alabama gear.
With all the Alabama gear, he's got hats and Alabama gear, and then they did a birth certificate and they did balloons, and like I said, I think maybe this family might be the healthiest of all of us. Maybe they seem to have gotten it. They're embracing it, and they're just living, and they don't care, and they're putting photos up, and they're either utterly oblivious or they're in on the joke, and either way, they're probably happy.
Digging deeper into it, I don't think this dude is healthy.
Oh, I mean, if he, as I said, he's either very healthy or extremely not healthy.
Yeah, I think it's the latter.
I'm choosing to look at the positive side of this. So
I
I'm
understand.
hopeful that this gentleman is in a good place.
Well, get ready. That negative is a doozy when you get to it.
I mean, I got to it. I'm just not. I'm not gonna acknowledge it. I think that this is. Anyway, I wish them all the best. I hope that young doll grows up into. Well, it's not gonna. I don't know. Anyway, check out CJ's Twitter at @ConRadicalness and see if you can figure out what's going on. Because
not.
Ooh.
don't listen. maybe he could role play that. Maybe he could role play that. You know. I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, this guy's a thing. Apparently, this is a thing. So.
What you mean it's a thing?
It's a thing. Like, this guy is like, his relationship. He seems to have set up a Facebook account as the doll. Her name is Stephanie, and she's had like there's pictures of him having posted as her with I don't know.
Y'all weird out here, man.
It's not good. Point being, this is not a good situation. I regret deeply having even found this, and and now the deeper I go into this, I regret
the worse it
all
gets.
of it. I regret
if we could just stay on the surface of a lot of this stuff, it's cool. It's great.
It's not. This is
but
not
the
cool
second
under
you
any
dig in,
circumstances.
it's like, no, this is terrible.
No, this is not cool under any circumstances. And I'm sorry I even got into it, to be honest with you. I apologize to everybody. This is my fault. I couldn't. You understand? I'm processing this live, real time. When I see this image, I can't deal with it. It's just it's too much. You know what I'm saying? You saw it. You had the same reaction, right?
Yeah.
You can't go on with a normal train of thought when you see something like that.
No.
Your brain is not. You can't do that.
No.
In any event, you know what? I wish them all the best. Do your thing. Everyone can live your life. I don't want to know about it anymore. I'm done. Just
the internet, man. You get down the wrong rabbit hole, and you'll go, whoa, how'd I get here?
People do things. People have interesting lives, man, and that's awesome. And I just wish them the best. And I hope it's a great, go get them. That's all I can say.
Not.
My goodness. Okay. All right. Let's sort of wipe that. Let's clear the palate. Okay. We got the wheel coming up. Also, a little more concrete information, including an actual number of games that we're looking for the NBA and an idea of when some of this may go down. All of that up next. And no more about this. We're just, that's out. Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar? Your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with their Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd through the 25th. All Nike golf shoes are 25% off. Score an epic deal on Callaway's Epic Flash Driver, now only $349. Save big with the G400 driver, now only $249. Remember, the more you buy, the more you save, and receive up to 25% off all apparel. Edwin Watts Golf Shops Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd and May 25th. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. A lot has happened overnight and just wanted to let you know we're open at Sunrise for all your automotive needs. Service, body shop, parts, and sales. Go online to sunrisememphis.com to schedule an appointment. Should you need a vehicle, we're offering 0% up to 84 months with deferred payments up to 120 days. You can shop online. We'll bring the car or truck to you. At Sunrise, we know you want to feel safe, so bring your car or truck to any Sunrise location, and we'll disinfect it at no charge. Sunrise, stress-free and safe. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Hey, sports fans, you already know the Butcher Shop has been a great Memphis tradition since 1981, and it still is. The Butcher Shop is absolutely open for your takeout with curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery because the Butcher Shop is still serving your favorite steaks, fish, and seafood. But now you can also pick them up raw and take them home to cook. You get the highest quality from the Butcher Shop and the comfort of home cooking. All wine and beer selections can be sold and picked up curbside as well. Plus, order curbside and pickup and receive 10% off your food order. And how about Burger Fridays? Treat your company to lunch, and the Butcher Shop will deliver Hamburger Friday any day of the week with all the fixins for just a minimum $250 order. The Butcher Shop is here for you, so don't worry about getting a great meal. The Butcher Shop has cooked or uncooked meals for curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery. Call 757-4244 or online at thebutchershop.com. The Butcher Shop at the Agri Center, Walnut Grove, and Germantown Parkway. Plasma donations are needed now more than ever, and you can make a difference during these unprecedented times. Plasma Biological Services is seeking healthy donors as well as those who have fully recovered from COVID-19. Your plasma may be used to help those still fighting the virus. If you have tested positive for COVID-19 and have fully recovered, please call 866-END-CV19 or go to grifolsplasma.com. That's GRIFOLS plasma.com today to see how your plasma can help save others that are hospitalized with COVID-19 and if you are eligible to donate. All donors will be compensated for their time. Please call 866-END-CV19 or go to grifolsplasma.com.
Whether you're working remotely, taking web classes, binge-watching TV, or gaming, Dell is here to help you find the right tech. From XPS and Alienware computers that are redefining what's possible with 10th gen Intel Core processors to the latest top brand electronics, our seamless tech solutions will help keep you connected. Plus, get free shipping. Call us today at 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Johnny used to walk on the dock.
Stuff. I don't know. I don't really.
How do you not know this one, Peter?
I don't really know the words.
You're supposed to be
I
king of karaoke.
All right, we've got to hold on.
You remember the key part of karaoke is seeing the lyrics. I don't know this song well enough not to know the lyrics.
We got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer.
Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear.
Whoa.
All right.
Yeah, not knowing the lyrics is hard with some of these songs.
Yeah. That's what
But
I'm saying.
I imagine
it's
this
a real
one
limiting factor.
is a fun one to do also.
It's a real limiting factor when it comes to karaoke. If you don't know the words, not real entertaining. So that is definitely a thing. Got to be careful about all of that. Have you guys recovered? Are we good? Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Good, because that's all I can say. Gotta take something. Gotta take something to get that out of my mind. Can't unsee. You can't unsee things sometimes. You just see things and you can't unsee them. And that's the problem with the old brain. Just sort of lock some things in, and sometimes they won't move. The NBA, CJ. National
Good old basketball.
Basketball Association.
On the old hardwood, as I like to
The
call
old hardwood, they call it. The old ball. They're going to put the old ball in the old peach basket.
The old basket, as I like to say.
That's what I like to say, too. I'm going to drive to the old hole.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Funny how we like to say the same things when talking about basketball.
That's fun. I think it's definitely fun when we say things like that. They are trying to get back into to action, as everyone is. Where the Grizzlies have sort of reopened their facilities and trying to tiptoe into something of a return. As are a lot of teams. It appears as though the Disney option is starting to kind of pull ahead of Vegas. It makes sense, Disney World, because of the fact that it's a private facility, so limiting access is easier than in Vegas, where you have a lot of public streets and public access to certain things. That makes it a little more challenging. But with Disney, for those of you that have been down to Disney World, you know that entry, is fairly limited in terms of it's a big, massive interstate here. But if you can kind of block those big, huge gates off, or you can limit, or you can put some security there, then you can pretty well, put a stop to a lot of the entry and exits. That makes it definitely easier. It's sort of secluded from the rest of, like a major city. It's far enough from Orlando where you would have to drive. You couldn't just walk over. Like in Vegas, you could walk over and do whatever. This is far enough from that. There's plenty of places to stay. Lots of different resorts. Lots of different stuff there on the campus. Food and all that. It does make a lot of sense to try to have it down there. And the Wide World of Sports facility they've got is already wired up, and it's already got production facilities there, so that it will make it easier from a production standpoint to actually show the game. So Vegas is it's a lot of there's some advantages certainly, but just a lot of it can be very messy in Vegas, where it seems like it would be a little easier to kind of clean up some of the possible issues in Disney World. That said, the NBA, according to some reports, Mike Fish of SI and a couple of other folks have kind of intimated that the NBA does want to try to finish a regular season, but they want it to be a little bit of a limited regular season because of all of the problems that you would have. You're not going to play an 82-game season. They would look for a 70-game season. And 70 has always been the key number because if you get to 70, then the regional sports network contracts become guaranteed, and there's no refund or anything like that would have to happen for those local TV deals. So if you get to 70 games, then there you go. Now that would be, a different number of games for different teams, and for the Grizzlies, it wouldn't quite seal up a playoff spot, but certainly you would be in a position to feel pretty good about where you are. You're up 3.5 on the Blazers, Pelicans, and Kings, and the Grizzlies would have 5 games left to play. The Blazers will only have 4 games left to play. So barring like a complete collapse, you would feel pretty good. The Pelicans and the Kings would essentially have to win out to have a great chance at it. If the Grizzlies could just win basically one of their 5 regular season quote-unquote games, they'd have a pretty good shot of sealing up a playoff spot if there is a 70-game season. So obviously that's a big if. The Pelicans and the Kings would play 6 more games each. The Blazers would play 4 more games. The Grizzlies would play 5 more games. Some other teams would only play 3. The Mavericks only have 3 games left to play. And then for the thing I don't get, CJ, is like for a team like the Spurs, for example, they're still in it. They're 4 games back, but they would have 7 games left to play. So they could, if they won out, they could maybe make a run at it. The teams that have games in hand would have a little bit of an edge. And then what do you do about those teams like Golden State, Minnesota, Phoenix, who are pretty much out of it? And as Golden State, they would have 5 games left. Minnesota would have 6 games left. The Cavs would have like 5 games left. The Hawks have 3 games left. Are they going to come and schlep all the way down there and do all this and go through all this for 3 meaningless games? Are you going to go through all this stuff just for that? What's the point of that?
If you're going to continue with a season, you're going to have to. And it will be the same issue if towards the end of the NBA season, the final 2 weeks of the NBA season, and we see this happen from time to time where it is very clear that you are very bad and you have no chance of improving anything but potentially lottery balls. We see those teams mail it in and phone it in, maybe even a month before the season ends. If you're going to come back and you're going to say, hey, we're going to try and play regular season games to get to 70, they're going to have to go all the way down there and have some people on the roster to go out there and pit for some sort of an effort so they can just get games on TV.
Well, and here's but the difference is this is a health issue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one thing for teams to just be like, I don't want to do this, or we're going to play our younger players or whatever, or we're just going to. That's in the regular season. Normally, it wouldn't really matter. Like you teams would have already kind of decided that they wanted to prioritize the future. The Grizzlies have done that in the past. These things happen. But when it comes to this, you actually have to get people to have a semi-training camp. You have to spend 2 or 3 weeks getting yourself back into reasonable playing shape, only to fly out to Disney World, go through a whole series of protocols to get yourself put in a position where you can go and play 3 meaningless games, and then shut it back down and go back out for another 3 months off. I mean, it's a lot of work for very little outcome for these teams. And I understand that you have to do it, but they aren't representative at all. Like it's not the fairness of this is just going to be. I realize it's challenging times and there's always going to be issues and all of that. But the fairness of this is going to be fascinating because we don't have home games, road games. You don't know what any of that is going to look like. Are they just going to play the rest of the games as they were on the schedule? Like, for example, is Portland going to play its next 4 games, including the one with Memphis, no matter what? They were going to play Memphis, Houston, Minnesota, Dallas. So are they just going to play those and that's that on that? Or are we going to pick the last four? How are you gonna find out which games are actually going to be out there? And then for some teams, those games are going to be easier than others. The Spurs we mentioned, if they win out, they could theoretically jump the Grizzlies and make the playoffs, even without the Grizzlies having anything to do with it if they were to win out. But one of those games would be against the Grizzlies, theoretically, if it's one of those four. If they take the Grizzlies' last 5 games as is, then one of those would be against the Spurs. But a couple of the Spurs games would be against, Utah. There would be 2 of them against Utah, one against the Pelicans, one against Chicago, one against Minnesota. The Minnesota and Chicago games are basically like, as far as I'm concerned, those are like you would just win those almost by default. I don't think those teams are even going to send normal squads. I don't think you're going to see Karl Anthony Towns playing for the Timberwolves, for example. I don't think he's going to come back to this. I don't think that Zach LaVine is going to play for Chicago. I don't think a lot of those guys are going to play because why would they risk it? What's the point of coming back for those games? So these are not fair games, is what I'm saying.
Everybody takes the risk or nobody takes it. That is how it's going to be, apparently. And if your franchise does not want to take the risk, then, well, the NBA probably shouldn't be going about it this way. If you can't, the interesting thing is, okay, how are we going to do the games to get to 70? Are we going to do the next games that were on the schedule before the suspension of the season? Or are we going to do the last games on the schedule? That gets to be an interesting conversation, but it's not. If I'm in the league and I've got to go and be down in Disney World and put some sort of a product on the book so that the NBA doesn't have to refund money, everybody's going to have to go down there. Otherwise, that's not fair. Why am I the one risking my life and you, because your team is terrible, not risking yours?
Well, the last 5 games for the Grizzlies would be brutal by these standards.
The next 5 games were brutal, weren't they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. These five games would be brutal. They were going to be brutal anyway, but obviously, there was 4 of the 5 would be on the road, so that helps. Now they're all going to be at Disney if assuming that that's the plan. So that helps a little bit. But it's Portland, Utah, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Milwaukee. That's tough. Those are all losable games. Now here's the other question, CJ. The Pelicans have 6 games left to play.
Mm-hmm.
If they're shooting for a 70-game season, the Grizzlies have 5 games left to play. The 6th game the Pelicans have left to play on their schedule, game number 70 for the Pelicans, is against the Grizzlies. But that's game number 71 for the Grizzlies. So now, how do you solve that? Because that would take the Grizzlies over the limit, but that's what the one that the Pelicans need on their schedule to fill out number 70. And I'm sure there's lots of situations like that where this is not going to equal. It's not going to be equivalent. I'm just it sounds easy in theory to say, let's just play 70 games. Everyone gets to 70 and then but
if one team
it
has
doesn't
4
work,
games to get to 70, another team
yeah.
has 6, another team has 7, one has 3, one has 5.
Maybe the Grizzlies have to knock off one of these games. Like maybe Oklahoma City is got enough games, and so you just don't play that game.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to modify the schedule to squeeze, to shift some things around. I don't think the schedules can go as is.
Yeah.
But I do think this is going to be on the face of it. You would think the Grizzlies should be good to go. You got a 3.5, 4-game lead with 5 games left to play or whatever. That feels pretty good, and I would agree. But even taking into account the unpredictable nature of all this, boy, the schedule looks brutal, and there are other teams that have what would appear to be a simpler schedule. San Antonio in particular.
Yes.
Of course, they do play each other, so that would just be the rubber game. If the Spurs won that game, then it would that would give them a big edge on this.
How are you going to go about making the schedule now? If this is the way you're going forward, that schedule is going to need to be redone and remade. And can you do a schedule? I don't know how many games everybody has left to get to 70, but can you do a schedule where everybody gets to 70 exactly, or will some teams have to play an additional game or something like that? I don't know. The NBA is going to have to figure that out on top of everything else they've got to figure out with the reopening of the season.
So that's what they want to try to do. Then you had Jared Dudley talk yesterday about how he thinks the NBA is not going to just put him in a bubble, that if someone goes out and catches COVID-19, then they're going to have to deal with it. But, that was his phrasing, essentially, which that doesn't make any sense. You can't do that. You can't just have people going out and doing stuff and coming back. And because if one person catches it, then you're going to spread it, and it's a whole thing. I don't know if we're ready for this. There's a lot of issues potentially that could crop up. We'll discuss a few more of those when we return. Also, a reminder coming up at 9:00. We got our good friend Dustin Starr, who's going to join us to talk a little bit about the Squared Circle 5-star in the house. That will be at 9:00. We'll do all that when we return here. Sports 56 mornings. Peter and CJ, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention doctors, nurses, law enforcement, firefighters, and EMT personnel. Infinity of Memphis wants to show their gratitude for what you've done and for what you do for our community. Right now, you can get your personal vehicle a Mobile Super Synthetic or Mobile One oil and filter change for half price. That's only $32.50 or $49.99 respectively. Infinity of Memphis will also wash your car for free. Visit infinityofmemphis.com now to schedule your service. ID is required.
The last few months have taught us what's important, as well as what needs to change. It's the same for business. Why have multiple software systems when all you need is NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system? NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Receive your free guide, 7 actions businesses need to take now, and schedule your free product tour at netsuite.com/herd. That's netsuite.com/herd.
Have you dreamed of owning a car that starts every time when you turn the key? A used car that looks good and doesn't break down when you go somewhere? Call 901-380-5800. Victory Auto Sales now. Do you want a car that doesn't come with a set of jumper cables in the front seat? Do you want a car that gets good gas mileage and really is reliable transportation? Call 901-380-5800. Victory Auto Sales now, or check out the website at victoryauto.org. Call or visit Victory Auto Sales at 4885 Elmore, just off Covington Pike now, for a car you can afford and financing that doesn't take your whole paycheck. When you call Victory Auto Sales at 380-5800, you can throw away the jumper cables. When you buy a car from Victory Auto Sales, the tow truck driver will no longer be your best friend. Call Victory Auto Sales now, 901-380-5800, for a car that really is reliable transportation. Call 901-380-5800 now. That's Victory Auto Sales. VictoryAuto.org.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Did the math.
Crocodile Rock?
Math?
This is Crocodile Rock.
Crocodile Rock.
This would not be one of my list of. I don't think I've ever heard this karaoke, but it's a crocodile rockin' cry rockin', the sun is shining, but the beat just can't sit still.
I never knew me a better time, and I guess I never will. See, maybe this is my.
Oh, Lordy, Mama, those Friday nights when Susie wear her dress so tight.
No,
Wait, what is it?
You got that all,
even know.
your rhythm all wrong.
Yeah, I don't know what the rhythm of the song is. I've never heard it.
The time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was that type of a show.
Yeah.
Texters have texted in on the First Bank text line. You can too. 67129. Texas says, do a random draw of teams in the league for the number of games you have left. Another Texas says, please, y'all are awful. I guess talking about our singing, which I couldn't disagree with more.
Please, y'all are awful?
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
Stop singing.
No. No. No, I think y'all being CJ in that one.
Oh, come on.
That's not.
Did you hear yourself?
Yeah, it sounded great.
Oh, okay.
It was a little morning. I wish I need to kind of, get
lubricate the pipes.
Yeah, I got to get do some vocal workouts, but
okay.
In terms of singing, talking and singing different types of workouts. You know, I really when in the my pre-show routine, I maximize the talking part, but I don't. Singing you're accessing different muscles, and so I don't warm up for that. But I would. I mean, if I'd known we were going to do, full on karaoke today, I would have warmed that part of my the whole thing. I'd have warmed. Long story short, I would have certainly done that. So 70 games. Try to figure out how to play them. Much work to be done, but it does appear that there is some significant momentum in that direction, assuming that nothing changes between now and then. The idea would be that June 1st would loom large in terms of ramping up I say preseason, like I don't even know, training camp. What do you call this thing? Training camp 2.0.
Training camp.
Retraining camp. Whatever it is. June 1st becomes now you change a few of the rules. You see how things are going in these states. We're seeing some problems. Georgia amongst the states that have conflated the numbers of tests that they've done to actually see if you have COVID-19 with the tests to see if you have antibodies. And they just slap those two numbers together to make it look as though they've been testing a lot of people, when in actuality they have not been testing nearly as many people in the results. And so it just muddies the data. Texas has been doing similar things. There are several other states that have had that issue. So we talk about this being a data issue, CJ, and I mean it's a good reminder that the data that we get is only as good as the people that are giving it to us. And some states are more meticulous than others about how they're doing things, and some states not as much. You're seeing some issues in Florida, for example, that are problematic in terms of what the data actually is and what it means. Georgia has been all over the place with their data. They put a chart out the other day that was incredible. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
It showed, if you just look at it, it showed a number of cases and testing and stuff that's all kind of trending like this direction, going down, like the cases, hospitalizations, all that stuff. So you're like, oh, okay, that's good news. Key issue. If you look at the x-axis down at the bottom,
yes,
the dates were all out of order. It was going like 4-8, 5-9, 4, like, so you're just so they could make it look like this. Like we're stuff that you wouldn't get away with in like 6th grade if you're like, I'm going to try this bar chart, but they're trying it. So you got to keep an eye on that stuff. We don't know what it's going to look like then, but if everything continues to be somewhat positive, then June 1st looms large as a potential date to kind of start to get more into some group stuff and maybe find a pathway towards playing this season. The idea, I think, would be mid-July to kind of have stuff going at that point, to kind of restart.
Good luck. There are, we talked about this with the Memphis football team and college athletes getting back. are being allowed to get back and do some sort of training, there are way more questions than we have answers right now. And we still, while we have tried to buy ourselves time, we have done that, but we still don't have it all the way figured out. And it being the coronavirus, how even something simple like how it spreads. It seems to be changing not only every day, but almost still every hour, the new information that comes out about what parts of the body that it affects and symptoms and how it's spread and all this other stuff that goes into fully understanding the gravity of COVID-19. If you are going to do this, it doesn't make sense. And by this, I mean open up the NBA and resume the season. It doesn't make sense for you to do it and then stop if one person comes down with COVID-19. But what is that number? Is there a number that could make you say, hey, you know what? It's not worth it. It doesn't make sense for us to go about the rest of the season this way. I don't know. There are a lot of questions, and you can do all you can to try and mitigate the risk. That doesn't mean that the risks aren't still out there. So I just question whether or not this is worth it from a health standpoint.
You mean just the whole thing in general?
Yes,
or
the whole thing in general.
Well, this is the thing, man. What we are seeing is money trumps a lot of health situations. We're seeing that from a lot of folks that we're not equipped to deal with this, and I continue to see a bunch of polls of the population at large is more concerned that we're opening too fast than not fast enough. I think the AP did a poll, was 80% was saying slow down. We're moving too fast. I think sometimes sports, those of us in sports, I think sometimes overinflate the importance of sports to society as a whole. I think it's wonderful that I think sports are important, but I don't think people are like, if we don't get our sports, we're going to, some of us are sports fans and who love sports. Like, it's hard not to have it. But I think in general that the average person, sports don't raise morale any more than any other forms of entertainment would. Just, it's nice to have them, and sports are great when you can actually have fans and when you can actually have communities coming together, when you can actually have the sports as we know them. It's wonderful. It's fantastic, but we really can't. And so, the value of it as a entertainment product minus the fans is going to be, we're going to see how that works over the next few months. I hope we get something, but if we have to do it at great risk and at cost of lives or anything like that, then obviously that's way too far. So, and I'm with you, CJ. We're a long way from having enough information to feel good about, the exact way we should handle this. I mean, we just don't have enough information. We can take our best guess, but it's definitely imperfect data.
Very much so.
When we come back, perfect data from a perfect guest. 5-star. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5-star Dustin Starr are going to join us, talk a little squared circle. The game is professional wrestling. And that's next. Real Sports Talk, Sports 5690 618-87-7.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vic ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper. 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase. And 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
How was I supposed to know that something wasn't right?
Oh, baby, baby,
I
couldn't have let
you go. And now you're out of sight. Yeah, show me how you want it to be. Tell me, baby,
'cause I need to know now, because
my loneliness is killing me.
And I
must confess, I still believe. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind.
Give me a sign.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
For what?
My fault. We had it worked out a little bit. My fault.
I mean, Zach, what happened?
Execution.
Your guy here just...
My fault. This is my first time karaokeing, man.
Why would you just stop in the middle of a song? You
I don't know.
were
Is that not
singing
the rules of karaoke?
To the extent that you can sing, you were singing it fine, and then you just
To the
stopped.
extent I can sing.
You just stopped, like you were like you don't.
I thought you were going to take it. I thought you were going to hit the note.
Anyway. It's just so close and yet so far.
We'll get it.
We'll get.
I got the
Will
next
we?
one.
Will we?
Probably not.
Will we?
Probably,
No.
definitely
I
not.
don't think there's any chance that we do. Welcome back. It is hour number 3 right here, Sports 56 Mornings, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. I am Peter Edmiston. He is CJ Hurt. That is Zach Boyd producing today's program, keeping us, well, not really on the rails because we left those a while ago, but doing his best. Our friends at Central Barbecue can help you if you're trying to kind of get yourself, find some stability in these unstable times. There's always a great stability when it comes to delicious barbecue. Who doesn't love some slow-smoked Memphis-style barbecue? Those ribs, whether wet or dry, fantastic. Who doesn't love some delicious pulled pork? Who doesn't love that smoked turkey? What a great option for those of you that are looking to watch those calories, but you still want that lean meat and that protein. Man, you got a lot of great. It's so good over at Central Barbecue. The brisket, fabulous. You can check that out and love it. Great sides, great desserts. It's all there for you. Check out Central Barbecue. And again, for those of you that are wanting to deal with, if you want to go in, they obviously, now we're in phase 2, so there is availability in the restaurants. Everyone's doing their thing to keep everyone safe, but there is some availability inside. Also, for those of you that are wanting to do the at-home options, great options for you. Delivery, also curbside, pickup, all for you, and the food travels great. It's going to be delicious when you get it back home. I've done it many times, and it is wonderful. Those wings travel awesome, and man, I'm hungry, and I want some right now. Gimme. Can't have them just yet, but I will soon. Central Barbecue, eatcbq.com, 4 locations, Central Summer, downtown, in East Memphis. It is the place for you. Joining us now, he joins us every Thursday morning. We love talking to him. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, ladies and gentlemen. He is none other than Dustin Starr. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Oh, yeah. Doing good, man. Happy Thursday, everybody. Not too bad on the singing. I got to say, I expected the Judas challenge instead of hit me, baby, one more time, though.
Well, I don't know. You have to talk to Zach about, because the karaoke playlist has been interesting. It's been eclectic, I think is the word.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Star, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Mine's got to be Georgia's Satellite. I got a little change in my pocket.
Ooh,
Go
yeah.
Jing-a-lang-a-lang. Yeah. I'll call you on the telephone, Rhea. Great.
Now, see,
man, I got wanted, dead or alive, man. I got a
Star's a performer.
plethora.
Star's a performer. That's what I mean. He's a performer, so he's got the edge in karaoke because he's used to just putting on a show. That's his gig. That's what you got to do, man. You got to put on a show.
But that's how you get more comfortable on the microphone, or that's how I did, especially when I was out in Tampa. I would go karaokeing sometimes by myself because it's more embarrassing by yourself because you don't know anybody.
That's right.
And so I would sing and I would get more and more comfortable on the microphone, and then you could basically do anything. Look at what I do at the Grizzlies games.
Can I tell you something, Star? Cool. There is a part of me. I mentioned earlier in the show, I've done many karaoke nights. And I mentioned that there are some songs that are guaranteed karaoke winners. Like when I do Thong Song, the crowd loves it. It's a fantastic. It's a great event. It's wonderful. People love it. It's great. I kind of think of karaoke, and I have to say that I've thought of it before in a little bit of a wrestling term because that's kind of the babyface song. Like you go out there, crowd's gonna love it. It's just classic white meat babyface. Go get them. But I've also decided that I wanted to just be a heel sometimes and do some really weird slow song, and the crowd just hates it. And it's great because you have the attention for the whole song. I don't care what the song is. They're not going to kick you out. They can't interrupt you. For 4 or 5 minutes, you are causing them discomfort. And if you can kind of get used to that. I had a couple of heel nights sometimes where I did real slow, weird Gordon Lightfoot songs and stuff, and you could tell the people just didn't like it. And you belt it out, and you live it, you live that gimmick, and it's kind of fun.
Usually, you don't get booed when you karaoke.
I have been booed. I have been booed before. I have been booed. I've had people yell, "Get off the stage!" But that's good to me. That's just heel heat. I like it. That's just a good reaction. So.
Totally heel heat for sure.
Yeah, so I think being a heel was way more fun. The only problem is you're not getting paid to do karaoke. So you have to figure that aspect of it out. Now, Star, before we get into all this other stuff, I did want to mention what a tragic week, man. And just awful story about the Shad Gaspard and the like. It's a bizarre story to begin with, and then for him to pass away, 39, swimming with his son, and like.
Wow.
It's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, and this week was the Owen Hart episode on Dark Side of the Ring. I know you probably want to talk about that, but put those things happening basically on the same day, and man, it was rough for wrestling fans. And I knew Shad. I met Shad when I signed with WWE. I met him previously, and he gave me some advice and stuff. Just a super nice guy, man. You got a guy known as Beast. You know, he's 6'7". They built him as 240, but the dude was probably 280. I mean, he was jacked. They used him as the body of God of War, the video game. Like, this guy has done so much stuff. He even stopped an armed robbery a couple of years ago, and you know, just larger than life, kind of an intimidating looking guy. But when you met him, he was just like a gentle giant, just a big, you know, when I was brand new at FCW and WWE, there weren't very many guys that were just open to talk to you right off the bat, but he was one of them that was just super duper cool. And when I woke up, I believe Monday morning and saw the news, I had some text messages from some friends, and I was like, wait a minute, he what? Like, how does somebody like him drown in the ocean? And his last words were to the lifeguards to save his son and don't worry about him. Save his son first. So they saved his, 10? That was the main thing. If you followed Shad on social media, or if you were any kind of friend of him or knew about him, then you knew that he was just an awesome dad. And so to hear that story, I am glad that they found the body because it does give some closure. I mean, you would always wonder what happened or where is he or whatnot. But yeah, that was terrible. 39 years old, man. Terrible.
I mean, just awful. And like so many guys that you know, in my experience, like generally speaking, the biggest dudes are the ones that are the nicest guys because they're just used to having to be lighter and be kinder. They're concerned about, you know, like being too big and like accidentally hurting somebody. So they tend to be, you know, pretty nice guys, and they look gigantic and huge and all that stuff. And he certainly looked like Titus O'Neil's another example, like a huge, like just this massive dude, and just the nicest, like most kind, polite, you know, like well mannered, just like he could have like a, you know, like a gentleman's, you know, teach you how to be a gentleman. He's always well dressed and everything. It's weird, but I think it's something about being that big. Like guys just kind of have to be extra careful.
Yeah, Titus he's still a good friend to this day. Like Shad and myself, we would keep up from time to time. Me and Titus will text. So even though you don't see these guys all the time, you could go 10 years without seeing somebody that you worked with in the wrestling business. And the minute you see each other, it's like, bro, what's up? You know, right. So it's like time just stands still. And so when Shad started doing these appearances with Terry Crews, and he was in Get Hard with Will Ferrell, and just did some funny commercials and all that, I would send him messages that I was just, because we were at the same level at one time, you know, and to see him go off and do bigger and better things, I would let him know, hey, man, we're watching you, you're doing awesome. And I believe I met his wife at bodybuilding competitions, because Shad was involved with everything, from bodybuilding, nutrition, acting. He was a writer, all kinds of stuff. And so, it's just been a tough couple of days, but to go out, so to speak, the way that he did, protecting his son, is something that'll just, gosh, I mean, I got goosebumps just thinking about it, because I have a little boy, and it would just be, it wouldn't even be a thought.
No,
you know, it wouldn't even be a thought for somebody, especially like Shad. So he'll go out a hero. And, you know, The Rock tweeted about it. Vince McMahon, every single major wrestling promotion tweeted about it or sent some sort of word out. There's these T-shirts you can buy that benefit the family at this point. So I bought one of those T-shirts. So, you know, it's sad, man. 39.
It's I mean, so young, man. And then same thing with you mentioned with Owen Hart, man, and the Dark Side of the Ring. You know, talking about Owen's tragedy, and I mean, I can remember that was 1999. May. It was so that's 21 years ago. It's crazy to think that it's been that long, but I mean, I remember that whole thing like it was yesterday, and how that was one of the most shocking situations to that point in my young life as a wrestling fan or as a fan of anything. Like to see him and just have how it happened, and how sudden it was, and what an incredible guy he was. And for everyone to have to sit there and watch it happen, and I know Jerry Lawler's talked about sitting ringside, he and Jim Ross, and trying to figure how they went on with the show. I mean, what? Like I'm just mystified.
Unbelievable. Yes, that was unbelievable. That's one of those days where I will never ever forget in a million years what I was doing, where I was, like in that particular moment. I was actually working at Steak and Shake, man. I was, I think, 14 or 15 years old, flipping burgers. I got a call. I'm thinking, who's calling me at work? It was my dad. My dad was calling me to tell me that Owen had fallen from Kemper Arena, almost like it was a family member. That's how religiously he watched wrestling. And I remember telling him, nuh-uh. Like the kids, nuh-uh.
Yeah, of course.
He's like, man, I wouldn't call you at work and tell you. Couldn't wait to get home to rewind, because we would record the pay-per-view, on PCR. So I'd go back and I would watch, and, obviously you didn't see anything, but it was just an uncomfortable moment. And Martha, other than writing her book, she hasn't come out and really talked about this since it happened. And so that Dark Side of the Ring, I think, did 360,000 views, which is huge for them. And just another sad, tragic thing, when you think about it, being a parent, like, man, you just really know when your time is coming. And that was a silly stunt and all that kind of stuff. But I think one of the things that are lost in that documentary is there might have been some negligence and things like that, and it could have been done better and everything. But I don't think that Vince McMahon or anybody at WWE wanted that to happen. They hate it just as much as anybody else does. And so that kind of stinks that, wrestling fans can't really celebrate Owen's career the way that, WWE would like them to. But they were pretty adamant, WWE took Owen away from us, and we'll never forget that,
Well, I mean, it's the tricky thing is, if you reading about the way it all went down and hearing about it, and I remember reading about some of the stuff and seeing some of the details that came out in the documentary. The line between mistake and negligence is pretty thin, and especially in this situation when some of the rigging that they used apparently wasn't up to snuff and it wasn't necessarily rated for humans. Apparently the testing and stuff that they've done. And it's just a reminder, because you can go back and think about, for those that don't remember, Owen Hart and Steve Austin had a situation at SummerSlam 97 when Owen was trying to do a kind of a modified tombstone-ish pile driver, and he broke Steve Austin's neck and was never the same. Austin was never the same again, ended up leading to his early retirement a few years later. Mistakes happen, man, and you have to have training, and you have to be well trained, and you have to make good decisions. And when you start introducing rigging and other stuff into it, man, to me it just, even if it had worked out, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze to have the blue blazer come down from the ceiling. It's not worth the even slight possibility. And obviously, unfortunately, that slight possibility came to pass.
So for all the listeners out there, just imagine that you go to work and they tell you that you're going to rappel from 80 feet at Kemper Arena.
And you've never done it before. You're not like a stunt. You're not a stunt person.
You're not a stunt person. You've never done it before. That is not your job description. You are a professional wrestler. You're an entertainer. That would to me is no different than going to somebody, like going to a basketball player and saying, "Hey, tonight for the intro, we want you to rappel from the top of the arena." To me that makes zero sense at all, especially because they wanted that fast release, like a movie. Well, you don't have a stunt guy there. You should have had a stunt guy. And the funny thing, not funny, but looking back, they rehearsed that the day, that same day they rehearsed that. So what if he had fallen during rehearsal? There's so many different pieces of the puzzle, but I'll tell you one thing is when I watch television with Maria, especially wrestling, I get a whole different perspective, right? So I've heard stories about this for years and years and years. But when the doc came out, Maria sat down and watched it. And when we looked at the clip, they pulled the clip out. And she was like, that was what was holding him?
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah. And I don't know what they said he weighed, but Owen Hart is easily 240, 250 pounds.
Yeah, at that point, he was a little bit bigger at that point.
Oh, my gosh. And this little bitty keychain looking thing.
Yeah.
It
looked like the kind of thing you'd like hang your keys off your belt loop from. Like, it's just this
It
little.
looked exactly like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, so when she saw that, she was like, oh, my goodness. So I think a lot of people, that was eye-opening that piece of equipment was used to hang a 240-pound man, above an arena to have him rappel. And you remember Sting made it really famous. So they were just basically playing off of making fun of Sting a little bit and doing it in a silly kind of way. And it cost Owen his life. Sad. Man,
the stuff about training and having it be part of your job description. I mean, that's what it comes down to is putting people at risk. I mean, I remember, and I watched the other day. There's a few YouTube rabbit holes you can go down if you feel like it, especially if you're a wrestling fan. But man, I watched the other day, and it was Coco Beware used to do this move, and Scott Steiner did it and he was doing it in a it was like a 89 like power hour match or something and I forget who it was against, but he pulls out the Steiner screwdriver. Do you know what I'm talking about, Star?
Oh, yes,
Would you take that move?
Yes.
Like, would you?
Absolutely not.
Like,
Never.
the way it works, for those who don't know, like, he lifts him up like a vertical suplex. So the guy is like, you're up. Basically, it's a 180-degree angle. So you're like, you're looking up. The person you're holding him the head by your head with his body straight up. He then sort of tosses the person and spins them to where they're facing in, and then sits it down and puts the person like a javelin
like
going into the ground. It's like a pile driver, except you don't have time to you don't have time to get yourself positioned right. You're just praying that this guy can do this with your body. I saw it and I'm like, I literally gasped, Dustin. Like, I'm like, why would guys take this? Like, how could you? This just looks like a broken neck waiting to happen.
Well, a little peek behind the curtain is it's very, very hard for a younger guy to say no in the wrestling business. And that's why you saw Owen doing the stunt that he was doing. Is typically if you say no, they'll find somebody that will do it, or you could possibly be punished. So just imagine telling I don't know if you've ever met Scott Steiner, but I've had a couple of run-ins with him.
He's not the nicest
Try
dude in the
telling
world.
him no. Yeah, try telling him no. He's going to be like, okay, and he'll probably just do it because he's that strong. So you kind of, I don't know, man, but I definitely would not want to take that move at this point. And there are some, if you Google on YouTube, Coco Beware Brain Buster or Bird Buster.
Yeah.
He has literally
the Ghostbuster. He's called the Ghostbuster. Yeah.
Yeah, he would drop some guys flat on the top of their head. Like you don't know how they didn't. How did they walk away from the ring?
Yeah. Well, and there's my question too. If you are like an enhancement talent, which for those that don't know, that's the guys that kind of, especially back in the day, it's not quite as much anymore. But you would your whole job would be to go out there and just make the other guy look good and put on a match and take their offense essentially and just get beat down for a couple minutes to do the TV thing. But if you're trying to break into the business, you're trying to break into the big time. Is there protection behind the scenes? Does that change? Are those guys more taken care of? Because to me, it seems like you're putting yourself. It's such a trust thing when you go into the ring with somebody, and those guys just don't have a lot of leverage to be able, like you said, to say no or to ask somebody not to take those liberties with them.
Not really. Now, there's an agent or a producer that will help you guys put the match together. But once you get in the ring, whatever kind of happens
is going to happen.
Now if they do rough you up a little bit sometimes, and this has been recorded on podcasts and different things like that, if they do rough you up pretty good, sometimes they'll give you a heads up beforehand. Hey man, this might be a little bit rough, just to let you know it's coming. But then also sometimes they'll bonus you. If you got roughed up pretty good by one of their stars or whatever, they'll just throw a little extra money in your envelope or on your check that week. And, as long as it's not something that's an injury. We get hurt all the time, but there's a difference in being, hurt, having an actual injury. So as long as you don't, put
right,
the guy
as long as
out.
there's nothing like, it's not going to like keep you out for a while or injure you permanently.
Yeah, usually a little pay increase will help for that week.
Man, because if you go back and watch, I love watching it on that level, Dustin. To watch those types of matches are fun. In when you start kind of looking at it from that perspective, because you'll see guys take back in the late '80s, or I guess the mid '80s too, like the Road Warriors. God, if you were an enhancement talent, you were just going to get destroyed. Like the whole point, they wanted them to look like the most badass destroyers in the world, and so they just didn't care. They were running through these dudes and just like go out there and hey man, they're going to beat you up for real to make it look good. And I felt terrible for some of those guys, man.
They told me that. I wrestled Sylvester Turkai, who was an MMA guy. I wrestled him on SmackDown, and they kind of let me know ahead of time. Actually, Scotty Too Hotty found me in the locker room because he knew me and Brian were good friends. And he found me in the locker room, and he said, hey, protect yourself out there. And I told him, the guy told me not to put my hands up when he threw this wild punch. And Scotty said, you better put your hands up. He will knock you out. And then also, if you think back to the Memphis wrestling days, man, the Moondog. There were some Saturdays where they didn't even have an opponent because people were scared. Now, that is pretty legit. If you can't find an opponent for the Moondog, because what they would do is they would beat guys up just to see if they'd come back. So that was kind of how you broke into Memphis wrestling there for a minute, is you had to go through the Moondogs, and if you survived, then maybe you could come back another week.
And you came back, and you came back the next day or the next week and said, hey, then maybe this kid – they would rough you up. Oh my God! To watch it and to see it happen. Sometimes I've heard plenty of stories about guys getting roughed up, like in a gym or back behind the scenes or in somebody's basement, or we talked about Herb Welch had the shed like on his farm, where guys would just go and just get beat up. But to see it on like television as part of the product and be like, hey, wait a second, this is not the norm. This looks like an initiation, or like somebody's getting jumped into the gang here or something. Like this is pretty rough. It does happen. There's all those different things. Make sure you watch CW30. You guys, man, I love the creativity, man. I love what you guys are doing. You guys are just having fun with it.
Thanks, man. I got a haircut last week. Did you happen to see?
I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks good in the front and on the side. So as long as I don't turn around, I'm good.
I didn't want to talk about the back.
So I had one of my friends call. My friend called. He said, actually, it was Derek King. He calls me. He says,
Derek King,
how'd you do that? How'd you do that? And I said, how'd I do what? And he's like, your haircut. How'd you manage that? I said, what do you mean? She cut a gap in the back of my hair. And he's like, that was real? He thought it was like, I don't know, special effects or something. You really did that to your hair? So for those of you who didn't see it, Maria cut my hair. The guard slipped. The back of it's got a big, basically I'm like a Road Warrior Hawk in the back.
I can't believe you took that risk. I mean, that's the biggest risk of all. We talk about all these risks. You took that risk, that hair that you've meticulously prepared and taken care of for years and years and years. It's part of your gimmick. It's part of you, who you are. You let her just have at it. I mean, my God, that's you're
I know.
Insane.
Hey, my calendar is pretty open right now, so I don't know how much
you got time you got time to grow it back anyway. There's no problem. No problem there. He is Dustin Starr. Again, check out CW30. You never know on Saturday mornings what you're going to see. You never know exactly.
Hey, man, this Saturday we got MJF. MJF is wrestling on Double or Nothing this week, so he's wrestling Saturday night on pay-per-view. But first, on CW30 at noon, he's going to be wrestling Willie Mack. So it's a little bit of AEW versus Impact Wrestling. We've also got probably the bloodiest bull rope match that you'll ever see, and we'll have women's division action. So it's a really good show on Saturday. You guys should tune in and check it out.
Saturday noon, CW30, check it out. It is, for those of you that got used to watching on Saturday morning, Saturday around lunchtime, that is just a continuation of that in Memphis. It's awesome stuff. Star, we'll talk to you next week, buddy. Thanks.
All right, guys.
Grow that hair as quick as you can.
Thanks, Star.
I'm trying, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, dude. He is Dustin Starr joining us. Good stuff from him. Up next, we'll get your reaction to that. We'll get back into the college game as well. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The modern take on nicotine has arrived. Say hello to Velo hassle-free nicotine pouches. It's a game changer made for game changers. Whether you're grinding in the boardroom or from your basement, producing a podcast or prepping a photo shoot, writing code or commanding a crowd, whatever your hustle is, Velo's ready. Visit Velo.com now to find your retailer. Website restricted to age 21 plus tobacco consumers. Underage sale prohibited.
Upgrade to luxury. Visit the Umansky Luxury Complex at Ridgeway at 385. Umansky Maserati and Alfa Romeo, Lincoln of Memphis, and Acura of Memphis. One convenient location for incredible brands. Ridgeway and 385. Come see the Italian race-inspired performance of the Stelvio and Ghibli, precision-crafted performance of the RDX and MDX, or the amazing new Aviator, Navigator, or Nautilus. Rates as low as 0%. Payments from $279. 90 days until your first payment at the Umansky Luxury Complex at Ridgeway and 385. While qualified buyers, offers cannot be combined.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
And cannot lie, you other brother can't deny. When a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get
it's wrong.
You're off the beat again.
I'm not off the beat. Am
You're
I?
off the beat, yes. Yes.
Me so horny.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Zach had to leave on that one.
Yes.
He just had to walk right out.
Oh. Oh. All right. I forgot that part was in the song.
Me too. Fun memories.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. You got that wheel of conversation, CJ?
I can go get it. Don't go anywhere.
Go get the wheel, because I'll tell you about our friends at Acura Memphis, part of the Umansky Auto Group. And they are doing really good work in the midst of all of this and making it, it's everyone's dealing with all kinds of difficulties. That's just part of it, right? We all have things that have changed. Our hours sometimes change, locations have changed, all that stuff. But they are open. They're doing normal business hours. They are there for you. But they also have taken great precautions to everything's clean, sanitized, all that stuff for sure, top to bottom, to make sure it is absolutely up to par, exactly where it needs to be. But they've also got remote transactions. So a lot of you can't you can't go anywhere, or maybe you're staying at home or whatever it may be. They can get you set up remotely so that it's all taken care of on the website. Again, go to AcuraMemphis.com to start that done. And they can also do complimentary vehicle delivery. That's part of the remote sales as well, for not only new but pre-owned as well, so that you can, they can deliver the car right to you so that you are taken care of as well. Plus, they've also got for scheduled service appointments, free pickup and delivery to your home or your office. So they've really worked hard to enhance their experience and to adapt to the changing times. And I think it's excellent. And I think it's something that you'll if you're in the market, man, it's where you need to be. No question about it. Acura of Memphis, check them out online, acuraofmemphis.com, and you can go see them during normal business hours. All right, Zach, is there anything we need to know about any of these lyrics or anything?
No, we're good. We're good.
You sure?
What it land on?
Land on the something.
Okay.
Cut you'd like to be what?
Almost. Music act you'd like to be a part of.
So, like we were talking, like you'd be a member of the band, you'd be a member of the group.
Yes. And we're going to assume you can do whatever it is you would be doing in the band. So if you say, hey, I want to be background singer in Earth, Wind, and Fire, we're going to assume that you can sing. If you want to play the drums in,
you're not going to be embarrass yourself.
Yes. No.
Okay. Whoo. Okay, that's a good question. Off the top of my head, I would want to be part of Two Live Crew.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun. Back in the day, to go back into that era, right in the midst of all that, and just kind of be in the midst of that. I think that'd be fun. I'd also like to be. The first thing that popped into my mind, honestly, was to be in the Beatles and to see what that must have been like in those days, for them to be in the midst of the fame and the celebrity, and what would that have been like back in the day to create that kind of music? I would spectacular. So either Two Live Crew or the Beatles.
Cash Money immediately came to mind.
To be like just in the collective Cash Money.
So with not Young Money Cash Money, but Cash Money with Juvie and Baby and Manny and Lil Wayne and
not Lil Baby,
Lil Turk, no,
Da Baby,
no, neither one of those. The other Baby, and BG like to be in that because I hear stories. You can find the stories about what was going down on tour with Cash Money, what was going down in the studios. And I really like the song. So I can get on stage and perform and be hyped because I really, really like the songs. Morris Day and The Time. So I guess just be in the time also. That seems like it would be fun. A lot of those upbeat songs out there. You can hear those stories also out there partying and being on tour. I think did they do a tour with Rick James? I know Prince and Rick James did a tour. I'm not sure if the time was there or not. But just to be out there on tour with them, and it seems like that would be fun also. So those would be my two.
Did you check out the there's a live Prince show from Syracuse back in 1995 that's on Spotify now.
Oh.
And man, it's awesome. Like if you hit like When Doves Cry hits and it's Purple Rain and the guitar,
I have to go check that out.
It is wonderful. Like the energy of the live show is really cool. I'm not sure why I didn't know they did that on Spotify. I didn't know they put like live shows. I didn't know that. So it's really good. Really, really good. If you like Prince, man, or even if you don't, man, if you just want to hear somebody just killing the guitar and killing the energy level, man. That dude.
Something else.
Somebody so little. How can somebody so little just have such a presence, man, and just blow the thing up, man? It's crazy. Zach.
So the
Vienna Boys Choir?
God's Property.
GP, are you with me?
Peter, stop.
Hell yeah.
Peter, no, that's not the lyric.
I don't think that's it.
Are we doing Stomp when we do karaoke? That seems like a fun song to karaoke, by the way.
Make me wanna stomp.
So
put your hands together.
On the wheel, what does it say again? It says
music group you'd like to be a part of. Musical act you'd like to be a part of.
So you just you said you want to be Cash Money?
Cash Money or The Time. From Morris Day and The Time. Yeah.
Can I say Def Jam?
You can say whatever you want.
So you gonna be a part of that label?
Yeah.
What act? What are you gonna?
Yeah, Cash Money isn't a label. Cash Money was a group.
Ah,
Yeah,
Cash
Money
Money
was a
that's-
Cash Money was a group.
that was the tricky
And then
part.
it became a label.
Right.
Afterwards.
So let me backtrack that statement because I think at one point, especially when I was younger, I actually really wanted to be a part of a boy band.
Okay.
Or a boy like a singing group, singing group, because we used to sing all the time at the house.
Like Soul for Real, like Candy Rain.
Yeah, like we
Earl Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Shy Lights. the Temptations.
I can see Zach in the Temptations.
Yeah,
I'm telling
Zach, yeah,
all
like-
three of us, we could all three be in. Was it After 7? I think we could all three be in After 7.
Yeah, and that's
Part
my
of the Tony Rich project over here.
Yeah, so the Temptations was my pick there.
Temptations. Okay.
Yeah.
See,
you gonna be able to hit those moves?
I
all
mean,
for one.
I don't think it's that hard.
I'm telling you, the Whispers are another great
Yeah,
one to be a part
Whispers.
of. Like that.
We begin to rock.
Peter is the most whispered-looking one of us out here right now.
Steady rocket. Oh yeah.
Because of that,
Yeah,
the hair up top and the facial hair. Like you look like you could be in the Whispers, man.
Yeah, I could.
And rock steady is just a real simple movement. That's it, just side to side.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that all day. All day. I know Rocksteady. I know all the lyrics to Rocksteady, so I could karaoke that, no problem.
Okay.
So we're in, and then Whispers also didn't they do 2 occasions? I only think of you on 2 occasions.
Yes.
What's
If I'm not
day and
mistaken.
night? I only think of you.
And that's some smooth
on
stuff.
2 occasions.
And what's that?
That's day and night.
No, that was Babyface. That was Babyface's group.
No, I think that he may have redone it, but I'm pretty sure that 2 occasions was originally. Let me see if I can find that out.
No, I'm pretty sure that is
The Deal.
Babyface.
The Deal.
Yeah, that's Babyface's group, isn't it?
That is. Oh man, no, yeah. Man, for some reason I thought that was Whispers. It's a great song though.
It is outstanding. And any group that would put that has a strong like lead guy and let me be in the background.
You want to be?
I can do that. Like Michael's out front and I'm one of the Jacksons. I'm CJ Jackson. Let's knock it out. I can do that.
You could be one of the various Prince backing
Yes.
groups.
Yes.
Plenty of those. I would love. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Here's the ultimate backing group to me, and I could do this now, or I could have. I mean, I could, as I am right now, could go back in time and do it legitimately and not have to worry about musical or anything else. And that would be just part of Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh, yes.
Because I could just be on stage.
Yes.
Like they got 300 people on stage. I could just be there.
You're just out there.
Having a tambourine or something, or just running around. Or what.
A maracha just shaking it.
No one would really notice or really care. It just seems like it'd be fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
How
many were on the stage with Earth, Wind, and Fire?
I was thinking Earth, Wind, and Fire is another one where
was
you could
another
have
one that just had so many people on stage.
dozens of people just out there. What are they doing? I don't. It doesn't matter.
Just getting it. That's what they're doing.
Getting it is great.
I'm looking at this particular cover, and it looks like at least 7, 8. Yeah, let me get in on that. Throw me there.
Because I think you get all the benefit, all the fun parties, whatever, without really having to do anything. You don't really have to be a musician to speak
And
of.
nobody really knows. You could just be like, hey, I'm in Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm in Parliament Funk. And like people are like, oh, okay, you must be talented. No, I don't have to be. Not at all.
It's like I just want to be the guy that just does some weird moves in the background, and you just kind of like, is that guy? What is that guy doing? And like,
I think I could be in Wu-Tang. Like now, I think I could get in the Wu-Tang Clan and be on stage with
at
all
least
the
one of the
11
associate Wu-Tang clans. At least one of the
Wu-Tang Developmental
Wu-Tang Development League,
Like,
the G League.
And be in that, and nobody would think anything of it. Like, oh, yeah, he's definitely somebody. He's certainly supposed to be here.
I mean, I just know that you just have fun with it. I think it would be a lot of fun to see. Like I'm watching, so like there's a I'm just looking at this just random concert from P-Funk back in 1976.
Okay.
Night of the Thumposaurus Peoples.
Okay.
Where there's a giant spaceship that's landing in the middle of the concert, and there are, I mean, comfortably 20 people on stage doing stuff.
You can get that.
I mean, just, you know, we got one guy just getting it. He's not doing anything. There's no instrument in his hand. Maybe he's singing, possibly. Maybe he's not. Not really sure. I mean, you got obviously you got.
There was that guy in the Lunatics, the Saint Lunatics, who was like, okay, that's Murph Lee, that's Nelly, there's somebody else and somebody else. Who the hell is this guy? Why don't we ever hear him rap? And he was just out there jumping around.
Yeah,
like that. That was it. John on Facebook hit us up. He said Pink Floyd.
I see Bootzilla over here. Bootzilla. I could. He's playing like, looks like he's playing like the cowbell or something. I don't know what Bootsy Collins is doing, but something. I could do that.
John said Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
Texas on the First Bank text line. NWA is my group I'd be a part of. Whispers didn't sing that. Get with it. Well, we corrected it. Sorry about that. Another Texas says, with Parliament, I'd be the one on stage keeping the joints lit. LOL. Like, well, okay.
That is an important job for
very important.
I mean, that is because those dudes were. Everyone was high, just as a kite all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But they always were. You know, it's amazing how so many of these musicians were absolutely out of their mind, drunk, high, stoned, whatever, and can play, man, and can hit their notes and can nail it. Like I don't know how anyone could. All the substances, like look at the Keith Richards. I mean, the guy's basically pickled at this point. He's 70 in his mid-70s. Mick Jagger's are 70 years. They've just been drinking, smoking for their lives, and they're good to go. Like Mick Jagger's in incredible shape. Like that's guy can go for like a 3-hour concert at 75 or whatever, and he's just good to go. Mm-hmm. That is in terms of athletics, pure athlete. Mick Jagger has got to be high on the underrated athlete list. I mean, that you don't see, you know, Michael Jordan when he's 75, he's not going to be out there like dunking. But this is the equivalent. Jagger can put on a show that's basically pretty close to what, I mean, it's not that far off from what he was doing 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's incredible.
Janet Jackson, another one.
Janet Jackson.
Just, my God.
She's 50-something, 52, 53 in that neighborhood. And she's like, I saw her show when she was, that last time she was in town, man. Me and my wife went to her show. It was incredible. Hour and a half straight of like doing it, dancing and singing.
Miss Jackson is 54. Texters have texted in.
I'm telling you.
We would see CJ in Backstreet Boys. No, I feel like I'd stand out in that group. But there are other like.
There's no problem with standing out. I'd stand out in some of these groups. You think I wouldn't stand out in the Two Live Crew?
Oh, well, no, you definitely stand out in Two Live Crew. You will most certainly stand out with Uncle Luke and them.
That's not going to stop me. That's not going to stop me. I don't care.
Coming out the SEAL team 6
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Like, hey, guys, what's up? They're like, what? What happened here? There's a story. Oh, man, that would be fun. The cheeks just... Anyway. Send those in, 67129. We'll get to the rest of yours. That's a great idea as we wrap up this edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Hey everybody, our friends at All Star Chevrolet and Olive Branch say congrats to the high school and college class of 2020. And it's a great time to help your grad get a new or pre-owned Chevy. And if you're ready to get that new Suburban, Tahoe, Silverado, Blazer, or even pre-order one of those hot new Corvettes, All Star Chevrolet and Olive Branch is where you want to be. Because the people at All Star Chevy make it fun, easy, and safe, whatever makes you comfortable. They'll even bring any All Star Chevy car, truck, or SUV to you. And you'll pay a lot less than at those city dealers. GM's financing means no payments for 4 months and 0 interest for 84 months. That's on any new Equinox or Silverado. Thousands in cash back with Blazers, Silverados, and more. And everybody at All Star Chevy has one job: to make sure you get a better deal, have more fun, and in record time. And all sanitized and safe for you. They'll even pick up and deliver for maintenance and service. Remember, it's not the Pike, not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Collierville. It's gotta be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All Star Chevrolet today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
This is Total Eclipse of your heart. Got to turn around.
No.
This isn't Total Eclipse of your heart?
No.
What is it?
I don't know. Oh, this is
Let It Go.
Yeah, Let It Go. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was Total Eclipse of your heart.
Oh, yeah. No, this is definitely not. So, yeah. This takes some stones. You're going to try this one on karaoke because...
Let it go. There are more words to this song I don't know. Let it go. Let it go. I wish I knew the words to this song.
I don't care what they're going to say.
There they go.
Let the storm rage on.
In the back,
the cold
girl.
never bothered me anyway.
The cold never bothered me anyway. Not true.
Cold definitely bothers me.
Cold bothers a lot of people. Yeah, it's true. The cold bothers a lot of folks. That was an interesting topic. It took us down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and I started watching some old P-Funk concerts.
You got to.
That looked like a lot of fun.
I'm telling you, if you can get in one of those groups that have all of the members, you can just do random stuff on stage and still get all the perks.
Nobody. That's right.
You hit the nail on the head, Peter.
Just do all the. I want all the fun. I don't want
Yes.
all. I don't want to actually have to do anything. I don't want to need to have musical ability or work on an instrument or something like that. That's a lot of work. I don't.
Like, okay, let's go to the studio.
You need me to just hit the cowbell back in the back? Yeah, I can do that. You want me to shake tambourine a little bit? No problem. Maracas, I can do that. Triangle, you want to play triangle? Yep, I got the triangle.
Let's make it happen.
All day, baby. All day. I don't even want to be the guy that dances that hard because that seems like a big workout. Like
Just
I'm thinking
sway
of
into the beat.
my hair. The way my hair works, it reminds me of. Did you ever watch on Saturday Night Live the What's Up With That?
No.
Keenan. Okay. Well, he does the What's Up With That. He does an old kind of a, I don't even know what's takeoff of, but it's a show where he just randomly bursts into song.
Okay.
I love it. He just goes, "What's up with that? Ooh wee. What's up with that?" So it's fun. But there's a Jason Sudeikis plays the I I don't know what his name in the show is, but he's wearing the red jumpsuit with the little gold necklace.
Oh,
from like the 1982-ish kind of thing, like kind of an LL Cool J looking. And he's got the hair like mine a little bit, and he just does the Running Man in the back, and it's. I would do that. That I could do. He just jumps in randomly and just starts doing the Running Man for no apparent reason, and then he'll do it slow, and then sometimes he'll go faster, and then sometimes he'll. So yeah. If you watch it, it's pretty funny.
Okay.
I quite enjoy it actually. It's part of my. We've got a.
Where are we at on that?
A 64 team sketch. Glad you. Tonight is another bracket. We've already gone through the first set of games and had some surprises. So we're gonna tonight we've got more cowbell as the number 1 seed in this particular bracket. For those that don't know, me and my friends are doing a SNL all-time sketch championship 64 team bracket that we have to put together. It takes a long time for us to get together and be able to Zoom. We watch each one back to back and then rate them. So that's the thing. If you watch them back to back, it changes it. You have a matchup, the 1 versus the 16. So you have to watch each one and kind of, just put it up against that competition. That's all it is. It's 1-on-1. There's 5 of us, and we each get 5 points to allocate in the matchup. So it might be 5-0, 4-1, whatever. We add all those points up, and it comes out to whatever percentage is, and then I throw it into a random number generator, and then it's a one-time thing, just like March Madness. So a team might have an 88% chance to win after the voting because they got, 21 votes or whatever. But sometimes they're upsets, man. You never know. So we throw it through the bracket and see what happens. So I'll let you know. But,
okay.
We got more cowbell. We got Ladies Man. We got David S. Pumpkins. We got Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. We got there's a lot in the bracket here.
Okay.
Including What Up With That is actually part of this bracket as well tonight. Conveniently enough.
All right.
So we'll have the results. I need to throw that out online. When we get through some, I'll throw it up there. In the meantime, tomorrow, of course, we got a very big show. Adam Kramer going to join us, Kari Thompson as well. Everybody have a safe and great Thursday. We'll talk to you again.